So, welcome to Stick to Football, World Cup edition, brought to you by Sky Bet. And to be fair, I'm just going to make something up at the very start of the show because there are 48 teams in this tournament, and I want to know how many of the 48 you three can name.
Wow. I knew that was coming.
That comes from the fact that basically, I think half of us said before we came, no, haven't got a clue who's in this tournament, there's that many teams. But anyway, let's go for it. You've got...
Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Yeah, but...
you have to give me a pen or something.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, I need to prepare. Give me a pen, please.
We're starting now. Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Bosnia-Herzegovina is in.
What was it?
Curacao.
Egypt. England.
South Africa.
Ivory Coast.
Scotland.
Portugal.
Canada.
Senegal.
Mexico,
Saudi Arabia.
USA.
Algeria.
Look at Jamie's looking at the wall.
How are you looking at them?
I'm not. I do know who's in the World Cup.
Honestly.
Oh my God. Morocco. Ecuador.
Morocco.
Right, let's start again.
No, we've said about 20.
Okay,
we've just done 20 odd.
South Africa, yeah. You said South Africa, you said Bosnia-Herzegovina, you
Sweden,
said
France.
Curacao.
Croatia.
Sweden,
France.
Norway.
Croatia.
Croatia.
Algeria.
South Africa.
Netherlands.
Morocco.
England, Ivory Coast.
Scotland.
Canada.
Switzerland, Austria.
USA. Brazil.
Belgium.
Argentina.
How are you cheating?
I'm not Belgium, Saudi Arabia. I do know who's in the World Cup.
Honestly.
You told me it was...
Yeah, move over there, girl. That's better. Cheers, I can see it better now.
Oh, he's got the fucking... Honestly. Idiot. Honestly. Chancer. Honestly. Right, anyway, let's start the show again. It was a false start, that. Fucking ridiculous. Bruno last week, Roy, said that he wanted to speak to you. Have you had a chat with him or what?
Did you have a chat with Bruno?
He reached out to me, wanted to chat. And you know what? I did.
I'm worried about the defence. For England to do well in this tournament, Anderson and Rice are going to have to be absolutely world-class in that midfield.
You need players who are amazing at the position, not a jack of all trades. You need players who are masters of their position.
I'd have still took Cole Palmer. You need that bit of class in a big moment to do something.
If you're a player and you've not made the 26, I think it's on you.
His balls are they're ready to be smashed. They're on the table.
And you smashed it.
That's what I love about him, because he's gone, you know what? I'm doing that.
This idea that everyone's happy clappy because we're all together and there's 26 of us, you want a bit of an edge.
Par is quarter, I think, for England. Birdie is semi-final. Eagle is final. Albatross is winning. We talk about holding one on a par four.
You get fouled, and then for a minute, the opposition have got an advantage.
Yeah.
It can't be right. Just get them off and get them back on.
Which country will surprise us?
Japan.
You've got them going out in the second round.
No, but they surprised us up to that point.
Right, OK, what are we most and least looking forward to about this World Cup? And we'll start with what we're most looking forward to.
You mean the package, the football, or
Everything. What are you most looking forward to?
You know, once it gets going, because everything was happening around it, at the moment it's always negative going in, all the narrative going in, but once the football starts, you know what I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to, especially with the heat. Because we're talking about heat that we're not seeing before in respect of what's gone on and now. The world's heated up since 2014 when they brought in the hydration breaks. You know, obviously they had to change Qatar, you know, change it to the winter, but I think that this one we're going to see.
Oh, it's going to be tough, yeah.
It's going to be so different, especially in the way as well where the tactics, how you're going to play in that heat. You know, we're talking about like the sweat and the sweat not actually coming out with the humidity and the heat, because the heat's going to play a major part in this.
Well, you know this, because, I mean, you played in '94. I was going to ask this later on, but it feels like the right moment. So you played in, like, searing heat. What was it?
I think it's going to be worse, isn't it? It's going to be worse.
Yeah, but was it a struggle?
Yeah, huge. No, particularly for Ireland, when you look back, and I'm guessing the preparation would be a lot better now with sports science, but I think the conditions will be harder. And we obviously struggled to keep the ball with Ireland the way we played. We played 2 games in Orlando, 2 games in New York. Yeah. You know, it's just it's going to be a challenge.
Gav,
I think you can do all the preparation right in, and obviously get the best advice you can. But it's going to be a challenge for those players. Again, you have to be smart with the breaks. There's obviously more water breaks. Will that be a big help to them? Maybe when you make the substitutions, that type of scenario. There's bigger squads, but yeah, I think there's no way around it. It's going to be a challenge for these players, and not just the players, coaches, officials, supporters. Even when we were over there, my mum and dad didn't see any games. They were under the stand. Just they couldn't sit outside. It was just too hot.
Some shade.
No, the 20 pints the night before. But yeah, it's going to be...
I'm not looking forward to the group stage. I almost want to get to the knockout stage as quick as possible. It's just so many games. I think almost, is it the top 3 in most of the groups can go through?
Yeah, 8 of the 8.
So how much is going to be riding on a lot of the games? I almost want to get to the knockout stage. So I can't say there's 4 games a day in some days, isn't
4
it?
games a day, yeah.
Yeah, but James,
I mean, I love football.
Yeah, but James, that's where we see, because it's a bigger tournament, that's where we see those teams who are just coming in for the first time. The debutants. That's where they make their kind of their stand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. The fact that these countries, like a Curacao, Uzbekistan, you know, Cape Verde, it's the first time that they're going to get there, man. I know it's 48 and people are saying, oh, it's so many, but this is brilliant for them and their countries. Just to be there.
Do you know something? Some of these countries you mentioned, I mean, you just mentioned the heat. They're going to be actually better equipped at dealing with it, some of them with the heat, than obviously European teams.
Yeah.
And there might be there'll obviously be interruptions with the games and lightning. That we saw that was it the World Club Championship last year. So I think it's going to be challenging for TV companies, for pundits. You have to be ready for the unexpected.
I went to watch
every game having a break.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Definitely there'll be water breaks. Yeah.
I went to watch Inter Miami in a. What it been now 3 years ago when Phil was there as coach, and the game got stopped for an hour and 20 minutes. Literally after like 30 minutes, it got stopped. We had to finish at like 11 at night.
And that's going to happen in the games. That will definitely.
What are you looking forward to?
Do you know something? You said the group games. I mean, I'm looking at it from a point of view that I'm going to be in New York for 5 weeks. I actually think sometimes when the group games finish, it gets a little bit sad. Because when you're in the cities, when all the fans are over there, it's like a carnival, isn't it? I mean, Moscow was, Doha was the same. It's like a carnival for like the first 2 weeks when you've got 48 teams fans everywhere. There's like colour everywhere, fans from everywhere. And then obviously when a lot of them get knocked out, you end up then going down to like it being a game every 3 or 4 days or whatever it is. It's like, just lose a little bit. So I actually loved the group phase. When all the fans
I'll take that back then.
It's always just the start. You want to see who's going to be the surprise package.
But you must be intrigued by how England are going to do.
Yeah.
Like England are straight into it against Croatia in the first game.
It's a big game.
Like, that's not. Obviously, if you want to top the group, there's no messing about. You don't have a couple of games to go. Let's get used to the conditions. It's like, no, Croatia, you're straight into it.
I am fascinated by England. I'm looking forward to seeing. I mean, look, I think it's just because when you see England go to a tournament, you're always thinking how are they going to do, and you're always like intrigued. How are they going to do? But we'll come on to that shortly. What are you least looking forward to?
Do you know what? I'm trying to be really positive about it.
Me too.
Even you're about going away for us in New York. What?
5 weeks
Together. I think it's 5.5 weeks.
5.5 weeks.
You know how we all cope with each other and the challenges of all that stuff, being away from the family.
Do it a little, don't you?
Is it a challenge? I mean, how do you get your gear over?
Your gear.
What you got to wear? I mean, 5 weeks.
We got an email the other day. You must have got the same email about how much luggage we can take, and I think they've said we can bring 5 cases. What? Did you not get what?
No, I've got 2 cases. I mean, 5.
Right, I think it said something like we know somebody's definitely bringing 5.
That's just for his hats. That's his hats.
That's it. Just for his hats.
I need clothes to wear and clothes to...
Of course. I'm bringing literally 1 case. 1 case. I don't even have that much clothes for 6. But you can buy clothes over there. We can buy a bit of linen. Is it a bit of linen?
That's what I'm telling you. We just need some linen, something that's going to float on us.
No, but I'm looking forward to all that stuff. Being in Brooklyn, embracing America.
The High Line. You know what I mean? We're going to go to see the Yankees. We're going to go and see New York Liberty. I'm going to watch some basketball, watch some Gotham. Yeah, we're going to do...
A little bit of football. We probably have to watch
football. But like, I'm going to do everything. I'm just going to make it like a... Going to go and it's going to be like a home from home. Just going to go and get right amongst it.
I'm going to try and do that as well, honestly.
Let's go to a jazz club, man. Let's go and see...
Jazz club sounds good,
Yeah, let's go and see a cheeky little jazz club. We could just walk about, just ease in. You know what I mean? I might get my jazz flute out.
Club.
Do a jazz flute.
I've got my harmonica. I might
we can do a bit.
Yeah. And Roy's got a little club membership now, right?
Soul House now.
It's not confirmed yet.
He's not confirmed yet. He's got it. He knows he's got it. He's got it now.
It's not yet. Set me up for a fall.
No.
Carrie, you're going to be at home for like 2 or 3 weeks of it. Are you just going to watch them on telly and just... Because they're late at night, aren't they?
I just saw that, I'd seen, one of the England games at 9 o'clock and one's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I just watch the games, but I haven't sort of booked holidays or places thinking, oh, this was the World Cup or that, or England games or nothing like that. It's a little footy, I'll watch it when I'm about and watching it. But I'm going over for the final.
But would you ever go for an England game in like a bar or anything? Never. Always at home.
Oh, in a bar?
Like,
I'd never pull or something like that if it was like a semi-final.
you'd go out and you join in, yeah?
I'd go for the social, not so much the football. No, no, the England games, they're the ones I'll know what are on and I'll work around the other games, but I just think there's that many in the group stage. I just don't know you can keep up.
I used to love it. When we was younger and the World Cup was, I used to love the fact it was on late at night. It was different, it was brilliant, I loved it. I loved that about it. Obviously, the one in Qatar was magnificent because obviously the timing and everything, how easy they made it for the fans with the transport, with the ticket. If you had a ticket, you get a visa. You know, the proximity of the stadium. Qatar was magnificent. It was a magnificent World Cup, and then that final was the best game I've ever seen.
Are you doing the England games, ITV?
I think we might have
We got Panama, haven't we?
Yeah.
ITV will have the Croatia game and the Panama game, which is the first and the third. Which, the first one's a big one.
Yeah.
Huge.
It's a big.
If they want to top the group, yeah.
The main thing is not to lose that first one, isn't it? I think we can win something. I think 4 points gets you through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just as long as we just ease in nice, you know, no stupidness.
48 teams? Right, you seem to like it. What do you think, 48 teams?
I just think, listen, that's fine. But when you think of, I think probably when I was younger as a kid, the European Championships, the first Euros I watched, I think, was 88. I think there was only 8 teams in it. And that's obviously grew as a tournament, I get that. The World Cup, I don't know originally what it started with, but it almost feels like, rather than being the pinnacle of football or the absolute, like, the best football in the world, it's almost like a festival of football, isn't it, for the world? It's not necessarily the best countries or all the best players, I suppose. It's just like it's for the world football,
Yeah, but
isn't it?
the thing is that football...
Well, that's fine. That's the way it's going.
Exactly.
It's not just, you can't then...
Yeah.
If you talk to me about maybe... I suppose the Champions League is like that now, when the group stage, but yeah, it's almost like this football, this is for the world, isn't it?
It is, and that's what it should be. It should be for everyone should have the opportunity to have that inspiring moment for their fellow countrymen. That's what I feel. You look at... You can look at even what Morocco have done with their fact that they've participated in the World Cup, they've done well in the World Cup, what that's done for their infrastructure, the way they've built up, and then getting to the semi-finals, they've kicked on. And that's what the World Cup's about, giving people the opportunity to get in, get that experience, to try and go again, inspire people. And that's why I like it, Gal. I love it. I know there's a lot of football, of course.
Yeah, but
we know that.
professional point of view, the knockout games then are better, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are more enjoyable because obviously there's a bit of jeopardy involved with some of the group games.
But then you want those games, right, where those so-called minnow countries are playing against it. Because if they can beat them or they give them a...
Well, Argentina are getting the last World Cup.
Yeah, Saudi.
You know what I mean? It's like, that was like an unbelievable...
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And then when they done that, when they done that, then all of a sudden Argentina, then all of a sudden they realised they've got to kick into top gear now. Like, every game was like a knockout game for them, and then they just, boom.
Yeah, the bigger teams can recover from a setback, but
Yeah.
so-called lesser, if you lose your first game, it is obviously a long way back. But the big teams can recover.
I think it's up to the minnow teams to really have a go, so as then you can keep getting the chance for other teams to get that chance to play in the World Cup. Everybody should.
Yeah, I mean, the cynic says it's all about money, it's extended to 5.5 weeks, 104 matches, it's just about money. But actually, I think there is an element of the World Cup. If you can never get to a World Cup as a country because of the fact there's only, say, 24 teams or 30, it is a problem.
You're not developing the world.
Yeah, you're not developing the world of football.
Yeah.
So I am coming down on the side of, it probably can't, I don't think it should probably go any more now. I think we've probably hit the limit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think so. Maybe, Gal, but the thing is that it's a lot, but I think it's necessary.
Yeah, but you also, well, we'll see, obviously, in a few weeks, but you don't want teams getting them really embarrassed either, right? You want to be able to compete.
I remember when
hopefully some of these teams will be able to compete. You don't want to get embarrassed either over there, do you?
Did I see when I was young, I think it might have been the 74 World Cup, someone lost 9-0 or something, Yugoslavia. Someone lost like that, and I was like, wow, someone lost that.
Like Cape Verde, Caracau, Jordan's first tournament, first ever World Cup.
Uzbekistan as well.
Uzbekistan.
I was thinking more Scotland.
You know, the thing is, but we've got to give Scotland some love.
I know we do, Ian's course.
You know what I mean?
It's called a joke.
I know.
This episode of Stick to Football is brought to you by Sky Bet. We've got some rule changes that are coming in for the World Cup. I'm going to read each one out, and then basically you can tell me whether we like it or not. So a throwing countdown is going to be 5 seconds. If a player deliberately delays the restart of a play, the throw can be given to the opposition.
Is that once he's got the ball in his hand? Or
I think so, yeah.
So then you could just stand with the ball there for a bit. And
Do you know what I get the feeling is, though, with referees in tournaments, they're so well drilled, they'll do that briefing with the players before the tournament. I mean, you'll all know, before a tournament, a referee comes in to each camp and gives a briefing. That happens before every single tournament. They will say to them, if you walk towards the ball,
that's it.
I'm sure they'll say to them, if you we'll be on to you, it'll be harsh. And they are really quite drilled, particularly in the early parts of a tournament.
What was it, sorry? What did you say with the first?
So basically, I think if a player deliberately delays the restart of play, the throw can be given to the opposition. So a throwing countdown's been introduced of 5 seconds. I'm massively up for that. I'd say that's one we've mentioned. I don't know how many times in the Premier League this season. The amount of time that's been taken over throws. What it means is the centre halves, if they want to come up, are going to have to sprint up.
Yeah.
They're going to have to go over to the ball and they have to get it in within 5 seconds. So you're not going to be able to stop.
That seems short, doesn't it? 5 seconds.
It does.
Yeah.
But I think it's when they got the ball in their hands, isn't it?
Is it once they've got it in their hands, it's 5 seconds?
Going
Yeah,
over
I
the
get
ball,
that.
But sometimes,
like
Gal,
that.
when you do, but sometimes you see players they get the kind of yips and because they don't want to.
I don't think it's going to be, but it'll be. I think they're probably just giving them a little time frame. Yeah. It's not, but it's a bit like it's giving.
I think it's a good one, Gal, but it speeds it up.
Do we like it? I like it.
I like it, but you
one,
think about what happened, and I thought it was good. You probably didn't, but the Champions League final. I know it wasn't a throw-in, but the corner.
Yeah.
Before half time.
You thought that was
What I'm saying is, the
devastated.
referees told them they're still walking, they're still ambling over to take the corner.
Right. So you're saying that we should have rushed to get there?
Not rushed, but it was obviously.
Yeah, but Gal, I mean, James, for us to see it in that Champions League game was devastating. When I saw them just running off, I thought, what's happening? We've got a corner. Where are they going? But if that's the way they're doing it.
Well, next one could result in a corner. The goal kick countdown has been introduced, so it also applies to deliberate attempts to run down the clock and can result in a corner being awarded. So basically, a 5 second rule on goal kick countdown.
Yeah.
But it is strange they've brought in all these new rules when we're talking about the conditions being so difficult for players.
Yes.
Because if ever they're going to slow the game down now, and some of these players,
the heat,
and some of this might be genuine. They might struggle to get over there and having a breather and getting their second wind, and then all of a sudden
That's
they're
what you
getting
use the throw-ins for sometimes when you're walking over, you're taking a little breather. I don't know, man. They might be going too harsh on that, Gal. I think they're not enough time.
I think, to be fair, what the game's witnessed in the last 12 months, though, is teams, through unbelievable set-piece preparation, they're literally stopping the game for a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm talking, by the way, I'm talking about League Two games, and Roy, you've watched a lot this season. I'm watching the game, the ball being out of play so much, and literally every free kick now, the centre-halves are going
It's just a bit of common sense, isn't it? Somebody's
Like that one with
guidelines.
The one with the goalkeepers as well, and the goalkeepers are going down. Are they changing
But
that?
quick free kicks and quick throw-ins will come back in. They'll just have to adapt so that actually the defence might not be prepared.
Yeah.
Because they've got to recover quickly. So it works both ways. I'm up for both of them. To be fair, I think they're both good introductions.
I always feel for the Arsenal keeper though. He
Okay.
got a lot of
I
injuries
think this
in the
is
second half of cramp, and that's tough. Yeah.
I think this is an unbelievable introduction. Time-limited substitutions, 10 seconds. A substituted player has 10 seconds to leave the field at the nearest point. If they fail to do so, the substitute cannot enter the field for at least 1 minute and the team must continue.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so annoying watching a player just...
Walking off slowly, even when the referee's done that, even when another player's come and pushed them, they still go like that. And they don't go off. I hate watching that on the TV.
Yeah.
I hate watching that. Even if you're away from home, even if I'm at the Tottenham and you got to get off that end and walk round. You just got to get off.
It's basically every situation that clubs or teams are taking advantage of, wasting
They're
time.
gaming, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're gaming it, basically.
Yes.
What's it like to be taken
Okay,
off?
next one. Next one. Off-field treatment. Players who are treated by the physio must stay off the field for 60 seconds. It used to be 30. There are some exceptions, including for goalkeepers, injuries, and if the opponent is booked or sent off. So I like that. So I hate this rule, the idea of someone being genuinely injured by another player. The player's got booked for it. The player's down on the floor. He's been absolutely, battered. And then he has to go off, and he gets punished by having to stay off for 30 seconds. So if there is a booking now, say I foul Roy, I get booked, he doesn't have to wait 60 seconds to come back on because it's accepted that it was a horrible challenge.
That's good, yeah.
So I think that's a real good introduction.
No.
You're not having that, Jay?
No, because why does he have to be booked? So he can still hurt someone, he can still go down. Why does his team need to be down to 10 men for a minute?
I don't like the rules. I've always thought...
I don't get... Basically, that was brought in because people thought people were feigning injury, so people now are only going to go down if they're properly injured. So if they get sent to the side of the pitch, it'll stop people feigning injury. This has been in the Premier League for a few years now. Yeah. But I still can't get my head around it. You get fouled, and then for a minute, the opposition have got an advantage.
Yeah.
It can't be right. Just get them off and get them back on. I don't get it. Even the 30 seconds, I don't get.
Yeah, I actually only think this happens at the end of like 10 minutes of the first half and probably 10, 15 minutes at the end of the second. I actually don't think this happens for most of a football match where people fake injuries and want to be off the pitch. I genuinely don't think that. I genuinely think players, to be fair, if they're going down with that 30-second rule, they're probably they are injured, and some of them are genuinely injured. I think they should be allowed back on. If you've got a cut and you go off, I think now you even have to stay off a bit longer. You still have to stay off for 30 seconds.
I think this minute thing is coming into the Premier League, but I don't like the minute. Trying to stop people feigning injury, but people who've got a proper injury or they've got a little bit of a knock.
But I do like the booking and the red card element that means that at least they're accepting if a player gets done properly, that they don't have to stay off the field and be punished for something that's been...
Oh, amazing if they get taken out at the knee and a fella gets red card, but you can come back on. Well done.
The world is going football mad for 6 weeks, and we're delighted that Sky Bet are going to be partnering with us again throughout the World Cup in New York. We've got 12 episodes, including this one, so please like, subscribe, and get your comments in. If you get your questions in, I will put them to Roy and Write It and our guests during the tournament. We're broadcasting from New York with all the latest on the World Cup for the next 6 weeks, so please like and subscribe to keep watching. And I'd like to say a big thanks to our partners at Sky Bet for their continued support in helping us bring the show to you. Next one, players covering their mouths.
Yeah, good one.
Any player covering their mouth in a confrontational situation with an opponent may be sanctioned with a red card.
Yeah, good.
Is that something on the back of the Real Madrid thing, the Benfica thing? Yeah.
Because when they're covering, because you can't get the proof what they're saying with the hands covered and everybody's doing this and that. I think that's a good one. That's.
But are players doing that now when they're having a normal conversation?
Yeah, but even when it's normal conversation, yeah, but then they can do it with a normal conversation. But if they're going to do something where they are going to abuse, then you can't see because obviously their hands over their mouths. So I quite like that one.
Yeah,
that one's a good one for me, Gal.
It's important, though, it says it in a confrontational situation, because if you actually have a free kick and you just want to sort of like, you're planning something, you don't want someone to read what you're saying or...
Yeah, but it's obvious when somebody's going like that and saying, you this and that.
OK, corners can be checked by VAR. So VAR can make sure that a corner has been correctly awarded, but this must be done quickly and before the restart.
Quickly being the key.
So it has to be a case of, obviously, it's gone out for a corner or it's come off a...
So what will they do, Gad? Will the VAR person say, that's a corner, so we don't have to go to VAR, he'll just say it's VAR?
Let's say it's give a goal kick and they check it straight away. It's obviously it's come off the defender. Straight away corner.
Good, yeah.
Happy?
It has to be done quickly.
Yeah, quick, yeah.
Good.
I think people generally don't mind VAR if it's done quickly.
Yeah.
It's all the
way. The problem is when we're waiting.
Yeah. Second yellows can be reviewed. Players, obviously yellow cards have never been able to be reviewed before. So if the referee goes like red card, right, and it's a yellow and a red, that can be reviewed. So what is this?
The second yellow that can be in a red can be reviewed. The first yellow doesn't get reviewed.
But there will be no reviews for potential second yellows.
Yeah, so if the yellow's not given that could be, it can't. Do you
So,
know what I mean?
So if it might have been a yellow and it wasn't given, it can't then be given as a yellow and sending someone off. So it can reverse a red card, but it can't
give you a red card.
It can't convert a non-yellow second card. Yeah. So, again, let's say I tackle Roy for a second challenge and the referee thinks, I'm not going to give him a yellow, but VAR thought it was a yellow. He can't say...
He can't.
Can't.
So like the penalty in the Champions League final, for instance, people said that could have been a second yellow. VAR couldn't intervene and go, that's a red card now.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
So it can't give a second yellow, but it can take away a second yellow.
Yeah.
We happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think we're happy with that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take it.
It sounds crazy. FIFA, to be fair, FIFA, you can criticise FIFA for many things. I actually do think they get their refereeing stuff, like they test it in, don't they, in under-21 tournaments, in sort of what I actually think they test it in, like, the right way in a stressful environment. I actually do think...
All of those are pretty good.
I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, all of those are really quite good in the advanced.
They make the game better for the fan, don't they, I think?
Yeah.
They want the game quicker in...
The only thing, the first few of them about the time wasting again when we're talking about these conditions, you know, they'll be under pressure from players to be.
I think what you'll see is right backs and left backs, if they're not already, walking over to the ball in a deliberate fashion and making sure that once they pick the ball up, they're going to have to be ready to take it.
Right.
So I think they might take a little bit longer to get there, but it still have to be a reasonable time.
I think it's going to be interesting. Not like at the start of a season, the referee really implements everything. That's what's going to happen with this. They're going to do it for a while and then people get used to it. But like at the start, we're not going to be used to seeing people. He's been booked for that. Oh my God. He's got 5 seconds. You're looking forward to it. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good.
We're going to get into England. We're going to go for it. Let's go. Where are we at? Let's start with you, Roy. You're the only non-English person in this group. The squad, the chances, the manager and what he's done and the decisions he's made.
The manager, they've got a lot of good players. No doubt getting out of the group should be straightforward from. You think they'll compete if everything falls into place. Do I see England winning the World Cup? Absolutely not. Do you know what? When I looked at the squad, and particularly defensively, I'm not convinced. And I don't want to see any stats from anybody saying, oh, well, they've done this in the last 2 years or whatever. Some of these games, qualifying campaigns have been quite easy. But I just don't see it come a crunch game in the quarter to semi-finals, whether they're chasing the game or defending it. It's just...
What do you think
the defenders...
Our defence...
I was just looking at all of them. Obviously, you're going to go through it, Nev. Yeah, I'm just not convinced. That's just...
So the likely defence is going to be Reece James, you would think, would you?
Yep.
Right back. Nico O'Reilly, left back, would you say?
Yep.
Yeah, who's obviously having a brilliant spell.
Mark Gay.
Gay definitely would play, and then it's either Konza or Stones.
Yeah.
At centre back.
Do you know what? It's the centre halves that would be worrying me. I don't know what you think, but I just think this. I just think imagine playing in France and the game's getting stretched. I don't know.
I think the squad in general feels like you're looking at a lot of players who you'd say very good Premier League players, but not international players. That's the way I look at it. You know, the players and I'm not just talking about defence, I'm talking about throughout the group. It just feels there's a lot of really good, as I said, Premier League players, but not it's Champions League or international players for me.
You know, I remember like when I went to the European, the Europa League final when he's Tottenham and United. And he was kind of intimating to things what he wants to do and the players he wants, not taking the best of this and that, but taking the right player for this particular situation. This is what I feel he's doing. He's almost playing a chess game. Now, what we got to do, we've got to see how he does. Because what's going to happen is that people are going to judge it anyway. And we wanted an elite manager that's going to make the kind of decisions for himself. He's making this for himself in respects of the players he's picked. He's not bothered about what anyone thinks about who's been left out. I'm going to back him with it and see where it goes, simply because...
You're going to back him because you are a massive England fan. But
but back him to win it.
I'm backing him to go. Yeah, I'm backing him to get to... I'm backing him to go.
Because that's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about quarters or semis.
No, I'm backing him to win it.
That's why he's been brought in, isn't
Exactly. And we've got that manager who's making that kind of decision.
And the defenders he just mentioned there, you think are capable of...
Well, to be honest, if we start with Reece James, Konza, Mark Gahey and O'Reilly, I'd be happy with that.
But right, you said about Tuchel. This I think some of these quotes are quite interesting. He said his job isn't necessarily to select the 26 most talented players. Number one. Secondly, I can assure every fan in the country that we have 26 100% committed players in camp with us who know their roles, who are ready to buy into their role on and off the pitch, and are ready and committed to the idea of team spirit.
Of course, he's going to...
So no. But I think these are quite stark quotes from an England manager. This is not usually the rhetoric of an England manager. Who are committed to the idea of team spirit and being unselfish. Right. Now, if you use a word like unselfish, and to be fair, we know Thomas Tuchel, obviously, over the years has used words that have been sort of what would be the quite... He's tough. He hits people hard with those words. I mean, they are quite...
I know, but most footballers are selfish. I think it's always about... I know it's always a balancing act. We talk away about players going away, you're going, you need lads in the background who were...
But who is he suggesting he's selfish that he's not picked them, Roy?
Well,
if you're saying I'm not picking the most talented players, that's not my job, and we need to have a team who are committed.
He wants harmony in the group, of course, particularly for lads. Yeah. But of course, every manager wants that. But you also don't want lads. You don't want loads of lads left out going again. people say good travellers. You don't want lads who are all good travellers. You want fellas chomping at the bit to go, fucking leave me on, I'll be raging tomorrow at training. This idea that everyone's happy clappy because we're all together and there's 26 of us, you want a bit of an edge. You want lads who are grumpy in the background. I think, you tell me any players
I
are
still
happy
think
to be...
you'll have that though, Roy. You still get...
You think, and of course, maybe, and obviously a balancing act, but this idea with England, like, again, all these quotes coming up the last few months, I'm not necessarily going to pick the most talented players. Most managers say that. You have to leave one or two lads out. You go, no, he's maybe not great for the group, or I don't see him getting the team, and even if we're chasing the game. I get all that from a footballing point of view, but this idea that everyone's going away, and these quotes are great, and it's lovely, and there's harmony, and they're unselfish. You're going, fuck you. You don't want them all too happy. You want a bit of edge to training. You want to be 5.5 weeks away. You're going to be longer, obviously, with their preparation. They're away now, of course, getting ready for the games. I just think you've got to get that balance right. And this idea, I'm bringing lads because they're decent lads in the background, and I've watched them, and they've been with me since the start.
He's gone for harmony and energy, hasn't he, over talent. But what I'm saying is, and the reason I look at that, and when I look at the wingers, I said this before, I don't think there's a right or a wrong, but when you think of your wide players, let's say you've got your 4 wingers, they're all quick players, and we know trying to get the best out of Harry Kane, he comes deep. But I always think as a manager, do you want different types of options, or do you want to replace? So if you're policing Saka, it's Maraweki, it's not Cole Palmer who'll get in a pocket. So you know when you're coming up and against the game and you're thinking the opposition have dropped deep, Saka can't get behind, we need someone between the lines. He's just gone for the same sort of idea in both wide plays. Now, when I look at it, I love how strong Thomas Tuchel is, and the thought of an England manager in the past leaving players out like Cole Palmer or Phil Foden, especially, it just would have been unheard of. I'd have still took Cole Palmer for me. I still think when I look at that squad, it lacks a bit of class, because I think at that level of football, if you're thinking of getting to a semi-final or a final, and that's the point he's been brought in to win it. Southgate got us so far. The whole point is you hire this guy, a Champions League winner,
to win it,
best manager in the world, or Ancelotti's there as well. But I still think you need that bit of class in a big moment to do something, and I just think there's too many players.
But has he gone too far with this?
I think
this
he has
harmony
slightly.
stuff where you're going, because again, come the crunch, he's there to win it. And this idea is also, you're on about James. You've mentioned James at right back. Players with lots of injuries, and I've never also heard so much chat about players who are in the squad going, well, they can play in different roles. Let me know. You've got to be careful with that. That's well and good having 1 or 2, but if you're just picking players because he could play, if you're picking 5 or 6 players because they play different roles, come the crunch in a quarter, this would be fine in the group. I'm not talking about the group stages here. England be fine. But come the crunch game against a big team in a quarter, the semi-final, you need players who are amazing at their position, not a jack of all trades. You need players who are masters of their position.
Well, you know what, though, just quickly, just with him, though, he knows that this is going to be the conversation around it, and he's quite happy with what he's done. And that is why I'm saying, I'm going to see how it plays.
Like, you're backing him, obviously.
But Ian, no, you're backing. But is that the squad you would pick?
You know something? I'm not qualified to say that's the squad I would pick. What are you saying? Do I want
No, but would Palmer, Foden, would you take?
Well, I'll give you
anyone left out?
Is there a good
Would you
enough?
brought Trent?
Is there a good enough case to leave them
4.
free out? Is there a
Trent?
good enough case to leave them free out? Is there a good enough case?
I'll give you 4. I'll
on,
give you a Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
I'll give you Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'll give you Cole Palmer. I'll give you Phil Foden. Would they have been in your squad?
Can I tell you who I'd say? Harry Maguire, Lewis Hall, and who else was there? There was someone else who I thought. Harry Maguire, Lewis Hall.
Gibbs-White.
Striker.
Morgan Gibbs-White.
Walton.
Now, if I'm those guys, I'm probably feeling a little bit disheartened about not getting involved. Definitely, I would do. But, like, that's just happens. For me, with the manager and what he's picked and what he's seen with the players he's picked up to this point, I have to back him because that's what he believes is going to get him done.
Right?
I do trust him
with his decision.
And you know the thing is, Roy, like I said, I spent time with him, and he's really like
he's a smart cook.
deep in what he's thinking. So this is why I'm thinking he's taken a massive chance with what he's doing, because you can imagine he knows what's going to come for him if it doesn't go right, and he's still stuck by what he's done. So,
So lads, you mentioned Foden. You're on about loyalty, but Foden has been poor. Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't have had Foden.
Foden, and even Palmer's had difficult spells.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
it's nice to get a fella off the
I'm
bench.
saying, make a case for them, Gal. Make a case for them.
I'm asking the question.
So has he stuck with loyalty for the players who've been with him for the last couple of years? He brought Maguire in recently, then left him back out.
Yeah, but one sec, Gal, just because you're asking the questions, you still... What do you mean you're just asking the questions? You're saying, would you have left him out? Would you have left him out?
I think,
Make a case.
Look, to be fair, and the one that I find it hard to think that... One, you mentioned harmony. I don't think that, and I'll come into who I think should be in there in a second. I don't think the lads that I've mentioned, Gibbs White, Foden, Palmer, Maguire, Shaw, people like that, none of them I don't think would disrupt harmony. I don't see any bad apples in there. So Mike, what he said by saying they're unselfish and I've got players who are committed, I actually have never seen a lack of commitment from them lads when they played for us. That's number one.
We're not saying that.
Okay, I do struggle with the idea that Harry Maguire is not in the squad. And look, Kwanzaa is a talented, you know him, but I was going to ask you this question, but I'm going to say it. I find it very difficult to think that I would have sat there, and to be fair, Thomas Tuchel's a lot more qualified than I am, and would have picked Gerald Kwanzaa over Harry Maguire. I think if you're talking about the fact that set pieces, last 15 minutes of a game, Stones gets injured, both boxes. He wants to be good at set pieces because
he took Dan Burn ahead of him. He took Dan. That slot's gone to Dan Burn, hasn't it?
But still, what I'm saying to you in terms of Kwanzaa, though, would you? Dan Burn can play left back. Let's say Dan Burn's playing left back. Let's say we're playing against.
But now you're going to start Dan Burn playing a few different positions. You want to be careful with that as well. Now that you've got.
Is Dan Burn as good a centre half as Harry Maguire?
No.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
would you have picked?
I would have picked Harry Maguire
over.
But when you look of
over Dan Burn, you'd have picked him over General Kwanzaa, wouldn't you?
I'd have picked him over both. But what I'm saying is, I must say, I like Harry Maguire, but I didn't like what happened after the squad was picked. The way carry on out of his family and all that, carry on as it, you know what I mean. And I think I don't know if I said that on the podcast or somewhere else. There was still a Premier League game to go. Someone else could have got in. He could have been back in the squad. And he's bad-mouthing the manager and it wasn't like he's been in the squad for 2 years. He got back in at the back end of that. But what he's done is, I think, when you speak to him, obviously, I know his coach Anthony Barry, I think the feeling is the players you're mentioning of being top England players, got to finals and semi-finals, and maybe they're not first choice now. If you talk about a Shaw or a Harry Maguire, and I think probably the feeling from them is, if you've got them players in the background, not that they're going to be negative, but you know when you've sort of got big characters in the squad and they almost stop the other ones being then that character. It's almost, do you understand what I mean? So the younger ones who are coming, like an Elliot Anderson maybe, or a Kwanzaa at the back, Kwanzaa at the back, or a Gay, they feel, no, we're the leaders now. It's not like, oh, that's Harry Maguire. They've got to semi-finals. These, because Jude Bellingham might be a little bit that. I don't think Jude Bellingham's going to start the first game. I'd be surprised if he does.
I'd be amazed if Bellingham
was I'm not sure he will.
Bellingham's not a sub.
Okay, well, he has been a sub for England, but what I'm saying is he hasn't had a great season. He's had injuries, but I think that'll be really interesting to see how the tournament goes on. That dynamic between Thomas Tuchel and Jude Bellingham, whether he gets him into the team. If he's not in the team, what happens? I think that's going to dominate basically airwaves all summer.
What about the fact, I hear what you're saying there, what about the fact that you mentioned Harry Maguire's reaction after he didn't get in and he still had a game?
Oh yeah, listen, I've got no problem with Harry Maguire not being in it, but if you're talking about some of the players that are in it, that's fine. But he's picked it, as I said, for harmony.
Lads, if you're a player and you've not made the 26, I think it's on you. You've not obviously done enough.
Yeah.
And that could be it might be attitude, it might be training, how you done week in, week out, it might be injury problems, but that is on you.
Roy's mentioned the defensive weakness. I must admit, I'm worried about the defence. For England to do well in this tournament, Anderson and Rice are going to have to be absolutely world-class in that midfield. They're going to have to be absolutely unbelievable. Now, they're good players, but they're going to have to sit there pretty much, not in every game. Obviously, England will be attacking in a lot of the games. But in some of the games, when it gets to layout, they're going to have to be unbelievable protecting that back.
Why? Because but you know, at that level, there'll become a point of a game where I played in the middle of the park, you have lads behind them, obviously your job is to protect them. But there comes a point where you go, do you know what, lads? You know, the top defender, there'll be time in a game where you're 1v1 or even 2v1. That's part of up to next level.
They're going to come up against Mbappe and Elise
and they'll run
players like that playing for sort of France and, you know,
and they ran right against Harry Maguire, of course. So that's what we're not talking about. The
Harry
group
Maguire
matches.
wouldn't have been in the team.
Sorry, we're not talking about Harry Maguire being in the squad. We're talking about, would you think that he should be in the squad, though, in front of Dan Burn and Kwanzaa?
Yeah,
we both said yes.
Yeah,
we're in agreement.
Yeah, maybe. But what I'm saying is, you're then talking about this defence is going to need. But we're talking about Harry Maguire. He's not going to be in the first.
No, but I still think that midfield too are going to have to play bloody well and like unbelievably well.
So you're saying already that whether it's Gay and Kwanzaa or Gay and Stones or Gay, but you're saying them two they're definitely going to get ran through.
No.
They could have the games of this. They could have this.
Right. I think individually, I think some of those players are fantastic. I just think if you're talking about that unit, right, a back four, the best team in the World Cup ordinarily is the best defensive team, usually. the best defensive team. I don't see a back four as a unit there. And individually, fantastic players. Reece James, what a player as a fullback. Nico O'Reilly, what a player.
He's been injured though, James.
I'm just saying, he's a footballer, he's a hell of a football player. Gay, Konza, fantastic defenders. I don't see a back four, right? I don't see a unit. I'm just talking from a defensive point of view. I'm not saying that all of them, I think, are very good players. I like all of them. But as a unit, as a back four, I think that midfield two are going to have to do a lot of work to make sure they're covering in the gaps that will appear. Because I don't think that... I don't see a lot of what will be... I'm trying to say this in the right because I don't want this to sound really negative towards them. Game knowledge and understanding of sort of what would be the biggest moments of staying as a back four together. Thomas Tuchel's have to do a lot of work with them in the next couple of weeks to get a back four together that's going to be a unit that can win a World Cup.
Well, that's
Roy's point. So I don't talk about individually. I think individually they could probably get in any other team in the World Cup. Nico O'Reilly could be left back for anybody. Reece James on his day could play right back for anybody. Gay would be a fantastic centre back in most teams. So it's not an individual thing. It's how they build.
I just saw a couple of moments.
I just see the centre backs, and unfortunately,
do you see them as a unit, Cara?
No, not really. But in terms of individually as well, the centre backs, and that's why I go back to. I think a lot of the squad is what I'd sort of call like really good Premier League players. So normally, when you go back to sort of when you've got Rio and John Terry, it's not just that they were great players. They're playing in the Champions League every week, every season. So you're talking about Mark Gay. I think he's gone to Man City in January. So the majority of his career has been, at a good level. Crystal Palace, really good. Did well at City end of the season. Konza's won the Europa League, but it's not coming up against that level of player week after week, season after season. And it's just, that's what we've got. They're the best of what we've got. Doesn't mean they're bad players. And I think for a lot of the squad, I look at certain positions and players, I just think they're really good Premier League players. Are the players that we look at and think they're doing the business on the Champions League level? For our biggest teams going forward. I don't see, and that's what makes me feel.
That's the thing then, James. This is their opportunity to go to that.
But Gay, he got an opportunity against Real Madrid, and a couple of times there, or even a couple. There's just something. Sometimes we watch matches all the time, but there's certain games you see Gay, and I like Gay. I'm a big fan of his. And a couple of games, I think it was against Real Madrid, or even that night against people running away from him. Even Everton, I'm going. That worried me. There was a couple of signs, just moments in the game where you go, that doesn't look good, and that Konza can get caught out as well. So that's where the worries come from. Not that they're making mistakes week. It's just that moments happen in the game, they jump out at me and I'm going, I don't like to look at that.
Would you have been happy? So if Harry was in there, would you still have the same feeling about the back four?
No, I don't think it changes the dynamic. I think Cara's right, he wouldn't have started. I'm just talking about the squad to start with, weren't we? What do we think of the squad? Do we think he's picked the right squad? Do we think he's left anybody out that should be in? I'm finding it difficult to understand why Harry wasn't in against maybe Dan Burn or Kwanzaa, but to be fair, he's made the decision. I do agree with Cara. I think Harry himself will be, to be fair, disappointed that his family...
Are you aware how many goals Man United have conceded? No, when Harry's played. No, if he's your rock-solid centre-half and you're saying he should be...
We're talking here about the fourth centre-back in the squad because it's Gay, Stones and Konza that are number three.
Question marks over some of them, and it's question marks over Stones. But Stones hasn't played regularly.
No, but to be fair, you've got...
of course.
No, your centre-halves are Gay, Konza and Stones are your top three.
Right.
Okay? No, you're talking about your fourth and fifth centre-backs here when you're talking about Harry. I'm talking about, I think, if you wanted someone to come in and do a job for you in a game... I think Harry, to be fair to him, can be a reliable soldier. I do think that. I agree with Cara. I don't think he'll have been happy about how his, to be fair, family then went public after, because I don't think he'll have wanted that.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll have wanted that, but they're obviously upset. What I would say is, the defensive bits worries me. I agree with you, Roy. The bit that frightens me to death, and to be fair, I think will cost us, and I'm pretty sure it will cost us, I hope I'm wrong. England have been knocked out of tournaments for 20-odd years, and in the last three finals that we've played against Croatia in a semi-final, Italy in a final, Spain in a final. When we play in conditions later in a tournament, when we're slightly fatigued and teams keep the ball off us, we are unable to be able to get through that match at the last stages of a tournament, and it will happen again. Because the squad that he's picked, any option of us being a possession team is gone. We are not a possession team in this tournament, which I don't mind. We are a counter-attacking team against the top team because... Cara's mentioned it. You've got Rashford and Gordon. You can't keep possession with those. No. You've got Madueke and Saka on this side. You've got a midfield of Rice and Anderson who won't be able to compete with the best midfields of Portugal, France and Spain and Brazil when it comes to rotation and keeping the ball. You've got Kane who drops in with probably a Bellingham or a Rodgers. So you're not keeping possession against the top team. It's impossible. I'm telling you, those 3 or 4 teams, 5 teams that I've named will keep the ball a lot longer than ours.
Yes.
At that point, when you've played 4, 5, 6 games, you've travelled all over America or wherever else you might have to go, I think that will be the point where we just go vroom and the engine goes and the petrol runs out. And that is my concern again, that we've picked it. I'm not saying, I was hoping, what I saw under Gareth, and look, I'm hoping Thomas Tuchel proves me wrong and he goes and basically finds a way, because I think he's capable of it, he's a manager who can, to get over the line somehow, because I think he's got that in him. But Gareth, I felt, was developing us into a team that ultimately I felt was getting more technical. Maybe it was wrong with the likes of Palmer, Foden, Bellingham, Saka. It was all trying to be a bit more fluid. We seem to have gone back to what would be, I think, here more of a Capello, a Sven, a team that's gone a bit more. We're going to be a bit more narrow.
Yeah.
We're going to have people who can run there and very quickly from there to there in wide areas, and we've got some people who can run past Harry.
Well,
so it's good.
What fascinates me is you've just said that, and I think you're spot on. You go back to English managers, and you think of sort of Terry Venables and Glenn Hoddle. I know it's a long time ago, but actually go back to me sort of Liverpool days, and in terms of Houllier and Benitez, they were like direct, defensive, compact. It was about off the ball. And it was the English manager or the British managers like Roy Evans or Kenny or Brendan Rodgers. They weren't wanting to play the football. We always get this thing drummed into us that foreign coaches want to play this football that we don't, and we're in a dark age. But I agree with Gary, even that thing of like 2 men in midfield, it was almost like that was a big no-no, wasn't it? Yeah. For England for so long in tournaments, it always had to be a 3. Now it just, listen, you can use whatever you want. But it feels very much like Rice and Anderson could be in there alone at different times. And it does feel like that. Wide players up and down, not sort of like
but if they're
people...
if they're sitting in, Jamie, and they're sitting in, and they're not up and down all the time, then it is counter-attacked. Are you saying you can't play counter-attack in those conditions? Because you're on about chase the ball, but you don't chase your ball, you just sit in. And that's just sliding across.
You're going to have, say, for instance, some games will be later in the evening where the roof's on and they might be playing in Seattle, which is a bit cooler, and you might have to be able to be a bit more adaptable and go for a bit more high press in those games because it's cooler conditions. You maybe then be playing in 38-degree heat where it's boiling, where you've got to then be able to keep the ball. Are we adaptable with the squad that's been selected to become a possession team? I don't think so. I think we're going to have to play pretty much. I might be wrong. I know we've got good footballers, but I don't think the 4-2... one there, and the 2 wide players that we've got, and obviously Harry will drop in. I don't think that gives us, against the better teams, the rotations that the likes of the Portuguese, Brazilians, the Spanish, the French, they will. I mean, I can see now what's going to happen. We're going to have Konza and Gay on the ball here, and you're going to have Rice and Anderson, and those 4 are very good players in their own right. That will not get England playing from the back. That will. I've seen it too many times in my career.
You have to find a different way then, won't it? That's the manager's job.
So it's going to be a bit of probably being a bit more compact at times, probably, to be fair, trying to keep the ball where we can in a bit more of a sort of basic fashion, I'm going to say.
Right.
And then definitely using pace in wide areas.
Well, what you're talking about the knockout stage, aren't you? I mean, that can't be the plan in the group stage. When you're playing against teams, you've got to keep the ball against.
So, but my point is, I agree with you. Group stage, this won't emerge. I'm talking when we get to playing like in the quarters, the semis. At that point, I do think
when we're saying the centre-back there, I mean, I think the interesting one there is John Stones, and we all knew he was going to be in the squad, and he hasn't kicked a ball for how long? Yeah. And I'm thinking, has he got a role? He can't just be bringing him. On the ball. That's what I'm saying. He can't just be bringing him for experience or behind the place. He knows he hasn't really played that much football. He must have a plan for him to use him in a certain way or certain games he must have.
There's no way, with everything you've just said and that, Thomas Tuchel ain't thought of that as well. He's got some plan for it.
Maybe we shouldn't underestimate it. Maybe
I'm telling you, man, because he's stuck to his guns with what he's doing. Everybody's obviously talking about, but then let's see how it goes, especially if we can build momentum.
Last quote: we have specialists for all different kinds of scenarios.
Here we go.
Whether we are leading or chasing a result. We always want to be a strong set-piece team, so we have specialists for that. And we want to be a strong penalty team, so we have specialists for that. Yeah. Very unusual before a tournament to hear a manager talk about... I mean, set-piece is not unusual to say we want to be strong set-piece and strong at penalties, but it does set out a way in which a sort of coach is thinking about going for a struggle. You know what I mean? We're thinking set-pieces, we're thinking penalties. You know, it's a...
Yeah, I wouldn't underestimate their planning. I think his planning and their preparation will be spot on. I think it'll be as good as anybody. But we still go back to it. Come the crunch games, it'll be about players.
Individually,
can they win it, Roy?
The World Cup? Yeah. I can't see it, no. Again, I go back to it. I think defensively, and we're talking about, I think England's planning and preparation will be as good as anybody, of course. But it'll obviously be moments. And again, we're talking about come the crunch game, a quarter-final or semi-final, there'll be some of these players you think just getting caught up, because I agree with Jimmy, these aren't competing week in, week out at the very, very top, or competing to win Champions League every week. That's the way I see it defensively. Have they got a goal threat? Have they got a good option off the bench? Yeah. Will it be well prepared and well drilled and set pieces? Yeah, of course. But sometimes you need a bit more of that. Maybe that real quality. And again, the centre halves, even Stones there you're mentioning, how many minutes has he actually played? It's not like if he's played 10 or 15 games. Well, he might lack match sharpness. He won't even have that. Any idea what he played? Can we get find out?
I mean, he's played 9 games, 10 games.
Wow.
9 games.
And you think there's a chance he might start the games or whatever?
I don't think he's
he's played 439 minutes all season.
Wow. Like, that is amazing.
He probably won't start. Absolutely, I don't
Premier
think.
League. Okay.
But we have to have faith in the manager that we've chosen to pick this team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever you say about the midfield and
he's not scared of making big decisions.
That's the main thing. And it's up to them guys now to like.
Right, I love the midfield. I wish both those players were at my club, because I genuinely like both of them. My point is, can they play in an elite level game a World Cup against midfields that have got the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, João, those types of players in that midfield for Portugal, or the players that Spain are going to have in there that are going to rotate and just be outnumbering them in pockets. And honestly,
you don't like that rotating stuff to your midfield.
Do you know something, right?
Fucking Rubik's Cube.
Do you know something, right? It sounds fucking crazy. These teams, when you play, you've been there for Ireland, we've been there honestly, you're chasing absolute shadows. They know somehow how to be able to sort of just. Why not that?
Yeah.
I always tend to sort of work in straight lines and move that way and down and that. But they never like, oh, yeah. Over £1 million is up for grabs this summer with ITV7 Football. It's completely free to play. Simply answer 7 questions on selected matches throughout the tournament for your chance to win the jackpot. Enter now on the ITV7 app or website. Good luck. 18 plus, T&Cs apply.
Right, Kieran, here we are in New York and we are playing the ITV7. It's England versus Costa Rica on the 10th of June. There's a £10,000 jackpot to be won. The mechanic, you'll be pleased to know, we need 6 correct answers to win. And a tiebreaker splits multiple players who've correctly predicted these 6 questions. Right. So, question number 1, what's the score? England, Costa Rica.
I wasn't impressed with them in their last game, and I think it's because they're still adapting to the heat. So I'm going a 2-0. I'm not thinking they're going to blow us away. They haven't yet under Tuchel anyway, have they really?
No. I will go... No, do you know what? I think they need statement win, 3-0.
Okay.
3-0, 3-0 England. No. I don't think it'll matter in the scheme of things, but I think if I was in the England team, you're like, yep, get your marker down. Statement. So there we go, 3-0. So I'm going 3-0 and you're going
2-0.
Perfect. I'll enter that into the app. Right, first goal scorer, Key.
Right, this is the harder one because with it being friendlies, it's who's starting. Do you know what? I'm gonna go Anthony Gordon. I think he'll give him a proper run out. Off the back of a good move. Yeah.
I didn't see that at all. That is
me too.
It's crazy. Barcelona. Anyway, right. So you're going to I'm gonna go Gueye.
Okay.
Set piece. Header.
Right. I mean, set pieces have been massive in the Premier League this year, haven't they? So
exactly, that's it. I think we'll do that.
Big.
First player carded, Kieran.
Right. It's just, I had to pick I've done some research and I've looked, and both the centre halves for Costa Rica got yellow carded against Colombia in their last game. So I've just tossed of a coin and I've gone Jalen Mitchell. There's no thought process going into it, hoping England give him a hard time. And yeah, it's a real, I don't know the Costa Rican team well, so that's sort of my...
Well, it's disappointing that you don't know them well, Kieran. Says a lot about you, but I'm going with Declan Rice because I think he'll start, and I think, he'll want to get around. Put a message in, lay a marker down for England. I think he'll get frustrated and there'll be like time wasted and stuff. So Declan Rice. Corners, Kieran, 10 or more or less than 10? What are you thinking?
I'm saying more than 10 because I'm thinking Saka on the right, Gordon on the left, causing carnage for Costa Rica. Surely they're not equipped to cope with that anyway. So I'm just thinking, I think there could easily be 8 or 9 corners in the first half alone. So I'm going more.
Do you know what? I think 10 plus corners is a lot. I'm saying they're not going to do it. That's just, I think if you look at how many corners happen in games, especially when they're like one-sided, I'm saying less than 10 corners.
I think that's controversial. I think it.
Right, less or more than 10 shots on target?
More.
Yes, I'm saying more too.
I mean, you've gone for 3-0, so there's at least 3 shots on target there, isn't it?
Yeah, there'll be at least another 8 more. So, how many cards?
It's a friendly, isn't it? I'm thinking there's not going to be more than 3, if that. I'm going to go 2 in total.
I'm also going to go 2.
Yeah.
Minute of the first goal?
I think England will take their time to score. So I'm going to go minute of the first goal towards the end of the first half. I'm going to go 39th minute.
7th minute. ITV7.
ITV7.
Please play it. I could do with the 10 grand actually to pay for this place.
Okay, we've now got to put ourselves in the position of Thomas Tuchel, and we've got to select the starting 11 for the first game.
You just done it.
We've just done the back four, haven't we?
Well, Pickford's in net.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got Reece James. We're playing Reece James at right back.
Yep.
Nico O'Reilly.
Yeah.
O'Reilly could be a star.
Brilliant player.
With him. He could.
Yeah.
Brilliant player. And we're picking Konza and Gay.
Yep.
Yeah. And we're picking Declan Rice and Elliot Anderson.
Yep.
Probably, yeah.
And we're picking Saka in front of Madueke on the right.
Yeah.
And on the left, we're going for Gordon, probably in front of Rashford, are we? Or we're going for Rashford?
I think you'll go for Rashford.
You Rashford?
I think Rashford will go.
Yeah, I have a feeling
Rashford.
Rashford.
On the left. Yeah. So Saka on the right, Rashford on the left.
Yeah. And Harry.
Declan and
Jude.
Anderson. You've got Harry up front, and then the big decision.
Right.
I mean, Eze could come into it, but the likely choice is
Jude.
Rodgers or Jude.
Yeah, that's the one. He'll choose one of those.
Which one are you choosing?
I think he chooses Rodgers for the
so?
stay game.
I'd say it's a big call in the first game to leave
Yeah,
Bellingham.
but he's got the bottle to do it. He's left him out of squads.
He has got the bottle to do it.
I just don't see how he leaves Rodgers out, where he's been his man in the England team, and he's actually finished the season strongly. Did he score in the European final? He's like, I think most people, and honestly, I think this could blow up in the World Cup, or it's how this is managed by both of them, Tuchel and
So you're on
Bellingham.
about good travellers. How do you think Bellingham would
That's
be
what
if
I'm
he's
saying.
left out?
But Roy, you said before, you want players who, when they're left
what I'm saying.
out, they're gonna be fucking angry and kick. Jude won't.
But what kind of angry do you get?
Jude won't take it well. Why would he? Because to be fair, he's a superstar.
Yeah, but
So
he'll
why-
still-
Will he be?
still get on with it,
Yeah,
though.
but no,
He'll
of course.
still get
But that's
on.
my point. Will he
Yeah.
be? You know, you can be a good angry and training. You're
and
chopping
still
the
get
manager,
it.
going, God Almighty, we've upset him. Or will he be upset around the camp or through the media or his family? Well, you know what I mean?
You know the thing with
it's
him
the
as well,
baggage
right?
with all that stuff.
You know with Jude-
I just don't mean him. I mean any player.
If Jude didn't start that game, I guarantee at some stage he would make himself known in that tournament, without a doubt, because
Oh,
it's
he's
not like
produced big moments
absolutely, because he can produce a big moment. Listen, Morgan Rodgers, if he starts, no one could say he doesn't deserve that start. You know, no one could say that. But like, at the same time, I don't think it's one of those where Jude's going to like sulk off. He's going to say, right,
all right.
when I come
I think
back,
Bellingham will get himself back into the team.
Absolutely.
I
If
just
he
think at
doesn't
the
start.
first game,
if he doesn't start.
you don't want to send a message to the squad, and it's the World Cup, it's about winning. But I think the way he sort of dealt with Bellingham at home and leaving Palmer out and Foden, it's almost like a message to the rest of the, you know what, he's the manager, he's going to make big decisions. I think he'll start with
Rodgers.
I do think almost maybe by the third game, I think Bellingham will find himself back in the team. He's too just big of a figure, too much of a good player.
Yeah, but
big
then
moments.
if he starts with Rodgers and he plays well,
Yeah,
Well, if he plays well, that's it.
then the discourse, the narrative's going to be, they're going to be trying to put pressure into that squad about what's happening with Jude, what's happening there. They're going to be following him in the bathroom. They're going to be following him all over the place. Like, what's going on?
Right, but Righty, to be fair, what I'm saying, I don't get emotional about this, but I watched back. I've been to 14 tournaments and watched England play, and I've seen great players destroyed over probably 25, 30 years for England. And I can't work out whether, with what's happening with Foden, I know Foden's not in great form, with Palmer, with Bellingham, with Gibbs-White, with a really talented sort of what would be group of players. I'm not saying that all of them should be in, by the way. That are England doing again to the most talented players what we've always done? We've gone for the runner, we've gone for the physical one, we've gone for the ones we sort of think are committed 100%. And I've just seen this for 25, 30, 40 years whereby, you know, maybe Gazza aside, who always was given, to be fair, because he was that much of a genius. But we have, to be fair at times, taken quite talented players and not really appreciated what
But Bellingham and Morgan Rogers are talented players.
They are talented players. I'm saying, and look, do you know, we've got a lot of talented players. But my point is, I'm torn between, well done, Thomas, you're a great manager, I believe in you and I'm going to back you 100%. And just I hope you go and win the tournament for us. But I can't help think there's part of me at the end of the tournament that's going to be saying, what's happened to this generation of the last 5, 6 years that have had this? We thought when we had Saka, Foden, Palmer, Bellingham, Eze, you know, this is like and we're almost seeing them. Bellingham now is being left out. So Palmer and Foden are out the squad. Bellingham probably left out the team. Before you know it,
Morgan Gibbs-White.
Morgan Gibbs-White's not even in the squad. So you talk about now the 3 or 4 of the most talented players in the country who've got a bit of flair, a bit of this about them, a bit of the arrogance that we like, that we always wanted. And we're seeing them not. So I'm at the moment, I'm intrigued to understand what we're going to see at the end of this tournament. Because I think Thomas Tuchel's been so brave because he's putting himself in the camp of.
Yeah.
Oh, we could get hammered for this.
This is.
But this is what I like about him.
I like it. I
love the fact that he's ready. His balls are they're ready to be smashed. They're on the table.
And you smashed it.
That's what's going to happen to him.
Which are you three going to smash his balls?
No, but
that's what I love about him, because he's gone, you know what, I'm doing that.
But just think, Righty, we left Ian Wright out of squads. We left, you've been there, right?
Who did you leave out of the squad? You picked the squad.
To be fair, I actually think, and look back, I actually think we picked, and maybe people say we got it wrong, I think we picked actually the younger, most talented players. I do. I mean, you look, we picked Oxlade-Chamberlain.
But you never got through the group.
No, I get that, Cara. So you can argue that the ultimate, but I don't think we had anywhere near as strong a group as this is now, let's be clear. But my point is that I'm looking at this and I'm thinking we've always seemed to, players are a bit more maverick, a bit more, a bit more arrogance on the pitch, a bit more... Glenn Hoddle, you've seen Scholes, obviously, in the end, he was never really appreciated other than by Glenn.
Letitia.
Letitia. There are players over the years, I just think, Joe Cole, these players would be playing, I think, for other countries that have got more technical players. I don't think other countries would be thinking about whether they're playing Jude Bellingham or not. I don't think other countries would be thinking about whether they're going to pick Cole Palmer in a 26-man squad. I don't think other countries would be not selecting Gibbs-White. I think...
But all these players didn't have great seasons.
No,
I know
I'm just saying...
The talent isn't enough.
I'm not...
Timing. It's the timing when the squad was named.
And I think that Tuchel, to be fair, what I like about him is he's determined, he's sure. He said, I have absolutely picked the right squad. And I like Joseph, he's sure. He's an experienced manager. So I hope he gets it right. But Wrighty's point, by the way, if this goes wrong, it's a brutal one, you know what I mean? Because of the fact that there are 3 or 4 what would be crowd favourite. You know, your Jacks, your Madisons, those players.
But when you say if it goes wrong, what's going wrong? Quarterfinals, they're like, what's wrong?
You're
not going to say it's wrong.
I am never arrogant enough, Roy, not to think quarterfinals is par for England when you think about Italy aren't even here.
So if they get to the quarterfinals, you're thinking they should be happy enough with that?
So to me, it depends on 2 things. One thing, how do you lose? So when I thought we played France in the quarterfinal in Doha and we were in that stadium, I thought I watched an England team that competed in that game and they were unlucky. And I thought, do you know something? It was a 50-50 game against a fantastic team who nearly went on and won it. And I'm thinking, I'm all right with that. I'm not disappointed, but just I can live with that. If you're getting knocked out by, with respect, Iceland or somebody like that, or Romania like we did all those years, you've got a big problem in a quarterfinal. So it's who you're playing against and how you lose. Right. And I think quarterfinal can be part, and if you lose against a great team or for some form of freak.
But the manager's been brought in, you mentioned at the start of the programme, he's been brought in to do what?
But George, you know something?
To win it.
I think it's a massive...
But he's been brought in to win it.
OK, he's been brought in to win it. To be brought into a tournament when only one European team has ever won a trophy outside of Europe in a World Cup, and that's Brazil, obviously, Germany and Brazil in 2014. Honestly, it would be a freak for England in this heat, with this travelling, at the end of
they were the words that came out. That was the words that came out.
Joseph, if you're telling me that Thomas Tuchel is judged by he wins it or it's over, Absolutely not. I'm not in that position. I think if he gets to the semi-final, I'd have said, Thomas, you've done an unbelievable job.
I agree with you, because when you look at the squad, and he has picked that squad,
Yeah.
but even if Palmer or Foden or a couple of others in there, I don't think, for me, I think there's better teams or squads than England. But that was the whole point. Gareth Southgate, we all looked at, and I think Gareth did unbelievable at England. Some of the criticism he got, I'm a massive fan of his. What he did with England getting to the finals.
Yeah.
And the reason he was questioned was for a substitution in the final. That was it. So you're bringing this guy in, and he's basically got to get to the final and then make a good substitution. That was what he was criticised for in the 2 finals he got to. Oh, he didn't get his substitutions right. So the pressure on Tuchel to come in. But the whole point of bringing him in is you're bringing a foreign coach in and you're bringing a guy who's a Champions League winner. Because most managers at international level, they're not great managers. They're not someone Real Madrid would go and get, or Liverpool would look to go and get, or Manchester United. It's almost like a different set of managers. Yeah. And in Brazil, with Ancelotti obviously, and England, they've gone, right, we're just going to get elite managers and we're going to put them in the international game. And it's all about that moment. Is he going to pick that right team at that semi-final? Is he going to get that substitution right in the final? That was the point of picking him. But, and with you here, I don't think we'll get there.
You don't think it was a semi?
No. I'm with you. I think if England got to the semi-final, I think they've done brilliant.
I think semi-final...
Suppose they got to the semi-final and then they... so you're saying about it's who they lose to and how they lose. Would you still be saying, oh, yeah, but they got to the semi?
No, Righty, if they got to the semi, I'd be saying that's a brilliant performance. Righty.
Yeah, but then suppose they blow out because there's too much movement.
Using golf analogy.
Go on.
Par is quarter, I think, for England. Got to be par. Birdie is semi-final. Eagle is final. Albatross is winning it. I'm telling you talk about hole-in-one on a par 4. I'm telling you, or a 2 on a par 5. If England win it, honestly,
you lost me at the birdie.
Right, it's free. I'm saying you're talking about something that happens like once in a blue moon.
You're giving us absolutely no chance.
No,
with the players we've got, offensive players.
Right, do you honestly, but seriously, do you, look,
I'm thinking we could go semi-final. If we get to semi-final, I feel that we could go again.
In 10 days' time, we'll be England fans and we'll be all the way and we'll be saying, absolutely, we can win it because we've got a chance, no problem. But do you genuinely believe right now, sat here, that we are going to win this tournament?
We've got a good chance here, especially with Roy Keane up front. What are you going to say?
But Nev, you spoke about all the challenges. End of a long season. Will they keep the ball long enough? The conditions are away for 6-7 weeks. But that is the manager's job. Yeah. He's got to find a way to navigate that. Would it be go easy on the training or our preparation's spot on? We've had lots of luck, no injuries. Obviously, Harry Kane turns up and he's banged it. Everything has to fall into place for England to have any chance of winning.
And that can happen.
But if there's anything that not quite right, or he didn't quite get the squad right, or the lads in the back, the 2 centre-halves don't work out, then they've got no chance.
Can I just say, I think that Thomas Tuchel, to win this tournament or to get to the semi-final, has got a far tougher job because of the conditions and the travel than Gareth had in Doha and in Russia. I think, you know what I mean? In terms of and the run that Gareth had in Russia with the teams that we played against, if you remember, all the way through to that semi-final. And then in Doha, obviously to quarter-final, semi-finals and finals were in England and in Germany. So he's had good what I call sort of good temperature tournaments in terms of, friendly tournaments with travel. Doha was good with travel. Germany's not too bad. You know what I mean? Good tournaments that I think meant we weren't travelling 5-6 hours. This is a different ask, honestly. This is a monstrous ask. We played in Brazil in 2014. We were travelling 4 hours, different time zones, players having to adapt, heat of 30-odd degrees. I can't see England, as I know England, as I love these players that are in this squad, I just don't see... You talk about 94, Roy. I went to a game in 94 World Cup.
Well, we played in the World Club Championship. And when did we play?
2000, sorry. But just going back to 94, a lot of people don't know this. I went to a game in the 1994 World Cup. I was over there for 10 days. Went to a game in the Rose Bowl in Los Angeles. And it was the game where Colombia played the USA. Roy said about his parents basically watching it underneath. I walked out. I was with Bex, Keith Gillespie and Phil. We walked out after 15, 20 minutes.
Too hot.
We went outside into the concourse. We got an ice cream. We got an ice cream. He's going to make it a joke though, aren't you? Me and Phil having an ice cream. No, honestly, we had an ice cream.
That lollipop.
Yeah.
You don't have pictures.
We had an ice cream, no word of a lie, and we didn't watch the match for about 25 minutes. We went back in for 10 minutes in the second half, and we could not bear it. We were literally frying. The players are playing on the pitch. I'm telling you, it was unbearable. So I just don't see how it's not a Brazil or a Portugal or a Spain that sort of, I don't see how it's not a nation that is used to this searing heat and playing in this heat.
And no matter what preparation they will do, it'll obviously help a little bit.
You do adapt, Roy. You do adapt. I
Right.
mean, you do adapt to sort of these conditions, and you do play in hot temp. But you adapted, I'm sure, in 1994. You'd have gone over there a bit earlier, won't you, and played a couple of games? Or
2
what?
days before the first game. No, we did. I think we played like a couple of teams. I think we played the USA on the 21 team or something. Yeah, we obviously went over and done our best to prepare, but it'll be nowhere near as what England are getting now at the
No,
moment.
but look, 94 preparation, Roy, is different than 2006 preparation. So you might have gone over, but other teams will have been preparing the same.
Yeah, but just remember, England, all these top teams will be preparing better than a lot of the teams at the World Cup, because it will come down to finances, how you prepare, and this. They will. That'll be obvious.
But I suspect some of these countries now. Look, I don't know. I'm
But
talking.
the smaller countries won't be doing that, Nev.
I saw the route that England had before, and I think they had like if they get through, and we'll bring this over in a minute. Right.
Bring it over now.
If they got through, I think, against Norway, by the way, in the round of 32, they would play Ivory Coast or South Korea, right? I won't want to play against Ivory Coast or South Korea in 30-degree heat.
You don't want to play against anybody.
No, I know. I just think that... I know,
yeah.
Right, what you said before, I think some of the countries that are used to playing in this type of heat, where they can, these types of conditions, they could really shock in this tournament and go a long way, you know what I mean?
They're slow with their leagues. They might be able to deal with it, but at the same time, I'm not going back to England. Yeah, I think we'll win it. We can still win it.
Well done, we're winning it then.
Thank you very much.
It's coming home.
Yeah. You have to have the hope.
This episode of Stick to Football is brought to you by Sky Bet. We're going to chat a little bit about Scotland.
Yep.
I tell you what, before we even get there, did you see Billy Gilmore?
Oh, it's got
yeah.
What a nightmare.
Yeah. You know what? It's the fella's coming in for him as well. Remember how Billy Gilmore got him? Remember he came in right at the death as well. I think someone got injured, and the same was happening with Tyler Fletcher. You're hoping that he can, you know, he can have the kind of game that Billy Gilmore had on his debut in the Euros, because he was brilliant in the
They'll be
Euros,
up against
especially
it.
us.
Scotland will up against it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let me find
They do
Scotland.
like you're on about
Scotland's group. If Scotland got
their first game, obviously. Is
that
due
game
from-
against Brazil in Miami.
Yeah, but that's the last game now.
Yeah, no, but is that just an unbelievable game? That
It's a magnificent game.
brilliant from?
you imagine what that's going to be like over there in Miami.
Well, they want to be able to, in some ways, enjoy. If you get the job done, because of the situation where there's a lot of groups where 3 teams can go through. If they can get the job done,
You have to win the
in
first
2
game, obviously.
You can almost.
If they could get anything
almost
out of
enjoy it.
Brazil and
Morocco. And you think of
'Cause they
Brazil.
got Haiti, right?
And
Haiti's
Brazil
in
would have
that.
won their first 2 games. You think they're already through?
Yeah.
And they might have a bit of a chance. And
Scotland's got to be-
Scotland, they'll be fine with the heat, won't they? They'll be.
It's going to be tough. You know what? And again, they're probably going in thinking, right, we can beat Haiti. You don't know what Haiti are going to be bringing. We beat Haiti and we can get a point from somewhere else. But in Haiti, will be thinking we can beat Scotland. You know, it's going to be. It's a tough one.
No,
It's a tough
surely
group.
they'll get a win in the first
What do
one.
we think about Scott McTominay, eh? I mean, seriously, like,
Yeah,
he's rebuilt. You know, he was at United. At times, to be fair, in a period where United players were probably getting mocked a little bit, it was like, you know, was it that...
he was alongside.
Was it Matt?
He did.
what was
It
the
did.
thing?
He was
Mac,
Fred. Him and
Mac
Fred.
Fred was there. They
It
were
was Mac-
ridiculed.
it was
Fred
Mac-
dragged them down, I have to say.
It was Mac Fred, wasn't it, at the time? And that was the sort of thing, Mac Fred.
Mac Fred.
But that's what they called it at the time. It's like they were mocked, and Scott McTominay's gone over to play at Napoli.
Can I be honest?
Seriously?
For Conte to pluck him. Like,
Yeah.
I think.
He's
You know what,
plucked him. They
Billy
paid 30
Gilmore
million.
went
And Billy Gilmore as
They
well.
paid 30 million
but
for
like,
him, by the way.
But to pick him with everything, like he wasn't.
Scored 14 in Serie A this year for Napoli. That is some going, Roy, by the way.
Okay,
Yeah.
a bit like Bruno. What did they win?
We're not on to Bruno.
Yes, no, but what did they win?
Yeah, we're talking about Bruno.
It's really we've just said here for the last hour about how can England win it?
Bruno last week, Roy,
we
said
speak about
that he
Bruno?
wanted to speak to you. Have you had a chat with him or what?
Did you have a chat with Bruno?
Have you apologised? Has Roy Keane said sorry?
I said,
No,
if he feels like
you're
he's
very
done something, he'll
childish.
say something.
No, I think there was a reaction to what we said after
Did you
the
have a phone call?
podcast a few weeks ago, and he reached out to me, wanted to chat, and you know what? I did. I called him, and we did a lovely chat.
It was a nice chat.
Lovely chat about a bit of everything, really. But it was nice because again, when we do podcasts or games, sometimes you think you say something afterwards, or you're trying to communicate something that doesn't come across properly,
Yes.
and people get upset. And he wanted to speak to me, and we had a nice, mature conversation.
Nice one.
It was lovely.
Well, that's
A
nice
lovely
to
chat.
hear. That's nice to hear.
He apologised and we moved on. I forgave him, no problem. No, it was a good chat.
It's interesting, to be fair, because I said something about... when was the 7-0? 5 years ago, 4 years ago? I said something in that game, to be fair, and he, obviously at the time he was upset, and I went in to see him probably a year after, actually, maybe a year or so. No one knew about this. I think I interviewed him a couple of weeks ago and said that I'd been in to see him. And I went to see him for an hour and a half. And to be fair, doesn't it sort of... You talk about players, and you sit there and commentate, but then when you talk to them, you recognise that actually you've got a lot in common in terms of you've been there and you're thinking, like, it does make you reflect a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that I like having boundaries with players. I don't want to be speaking to players every few weeks or their ages. I don't go down that road.
No, I don't.
Every now and again, I know that, but every now and again a player might reach out and you go, so I think it was important I spoke to him because there's been lots going on and lots reported. And he's obviously a big player for United. I'm an ex-United player, and it was like, I think the idea of just communicating, having a kind of a proper conversation, I really enjoyed it, and hopefully I think he did as well. Nice chat about a bit of everything, and I felt better afterwards. Definitely.
What did you speak? Obviously, you spoke about the thing, but what do you speak about?
A bit of everything: football, leadership,
Did he ask
his
you
role,
stuff
the way
about-
he plays, stats. Yeah, honestly, we spoke a bit of everything, but in a nice. It was nice. It was nice. It was a lovely chat.
When you came off the phone, did you feel good?
That's a bit of a stretch, but.
I'm talking about, I don't mean like
I know
a bit of
that,
reliefy kind of, you know what, I'm pleased that's happened.
No, because again, when we do chats, we always reflect if we said
Yes.
something. And again, if you felt you didn't say something properly, and people pick up on stuff, just like Bruno said, stuff happens to him. You go, so it's nice. There was a bit of clarity at the end of the conversation.
Good.
We were fine with
I'm
each other,
pleased,
you know.
I'm pleased.
And I'm looking forward to doing, hopefully, the Portugal game in the World Cup.
I tell you what you realise when you speak to him one-on-one, and you speak to him off camera a couple of weeks ago, he's a massive football fan. He watches all the football. He's intelligent about football, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's intelligent about football. You know what I mean? He's like someone that you speak... And I said this about Trent Alexander-Arnold. You always smile at me when I sort of say it, but you know something? I went to interview Trent Alexander-Arnold a couple of years ago, and you talk about someone defensively, you sort of commentate on him, and I'd said quite a bit that I thought he needed to get more serious about his defending. But then you realise he watches like all the Championship games, he watches the League One games. I thought, because you judge people, don't you? You think, so I don't think he'd be at home watching a Championship game on a Friday night or a League One game. I think he wouldn't be. He might watch he might watch certain games, but he actually watches loads of football, and he watches old clips and he watches YouTube videos. And I thought,
Student it again?
Yeah, but you know something, Roy? Sometimes you think like we have this perception that maybe some players are a bit more sort of carefree and they're not as sort of what would be serious as we think they are.
Yeah, but you can tell by Bruno when you watch how he plays, every single pass, everything. He's a perfectionist. He wants it to be perfect. He doesn't like people to drop below stand. He looks like somebody that's just constantly...
And everyone's a different trade.
But you can see it with him. He gets so wound up about...
My hang-ups with Bruno has never been about his football and talent, mind-boggling, but it's a bit like his leadership stuff. So that was the stuff we kind of cleared up, which is fine. And also it's a reminder, I always remind myself when you're watching the game and we're doing punditry, it's very easy when you're watching.
Yeah.
It is. I remind myself that every game we're doing. You're like, he's got to do that. But when you're out there, it's bloody tough. Of course it is.
But Roy,
that's what we're paid to do.
If you look at Bruno, and I think I asked you this question a few weeks ago, and you think of, let's say, for instance, he was playing behind you and Scholes, as an example, or you and Nicky Butt, I'm just making it up, and he was in front of you there with, say, Ruud van Nistelrooy in front of him, and he had David Beckham and Ryan Giggs on the way. And I'm just putting him into a position where, would you not be looking at him thinking, I'm glad we've got him, you know what I mean? Because you look at him now, he's actually, his numbers in a period where United, to be fair, haven't won trophies, have been like off the scale, like more assists than Cantona, more goals than Cantona. That, you think of Eric Cantona, what he achieved at United, he won trophies, and I know that you're going to come back with trophies. But Brian Robson, I always say about Brian Robson, the caveat I always throw at is, Brian Robson played for Manchester United for whatever it was, 12, 13 years, and didn't win a league until the very last year.
He won 2 at the end,
I know, but at the end, when he probably wasn't playing nearly every week, you were playing probably a lot of the games, and sort of Incy was playing.
Yeah, of course,
you know what I mean?
but he's still...
But he got the league. But I'm saying he had to wait 12 years, you know what I mean? You said it actually before any of us, probably a couple of years ago. I don't think Bruno's the problem, actually. You know, he's not the problem. I think we do focus on him because we think he should set the standards. But he probably does get a hard rap because he's the only player there that actually does demonstrate any care.
But he gets a hard rap because he's the best player.
Yeah.
He's the captain. He's the highest paid player. So we will we will focus on him. We're not going to focus on the fullback. So when you're going after people like Bruno, you're saying, and this is not about his talent, because if he was playing in front of me and Butty or Scorsese, happy days. Just keep giving the ball. You do your bit.
Yeah.
But it's the other bit.
Right, Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
No, they're up against it now.
You know something?
Listen, they're up against it.
Steve Clarke just signed a new deal and everything. You know what?
Of course he did.
He's taken them
before
what
the
now?
final.
That's the
That's
third.
the best time to sign it before the competition.
No, but the thing is, he's taken them to 3 tournaments.
Brilliant.
Unbelievable with the levels of player he's got.
He was a coach at Liverpool under the
Yes.
Kenny. Yeah, he was really good, Steve Clarke.
Let's talk about John McGinn.
Yeah.
Right? I love John McGinn.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy. I'd have John McGinn
yeah.
at United. Would you have John McGinn at Liverpool?
And McTominay, you'd have him back. How many
No,
do you want back? All right.
The thing I like about John McGinn is when you think of Unai Emery, the manager he is, and you go and watch Aston Villa, and if I said to you, what position does John McGinn play? He's a bit of midfield, he's a bit of this, he's a bit of... He's always in the team.
Yeah.
And there's always options, and maybe he's out injured, he comes straight back into the team. And Unai Emery's got, different players, ball players between the lines, sometimes a winger, but he always finds a place
He's
for
good,
John
Jamie.
McGinn. He's
Can do
always
everything. Yes.
And his... Honestly, and I
Whether he's
watched
crossing-
Scotland
Yeah, go on.
in a friendly at Everton's ground a few months ago. Oh God, who did he play? But he came off the bench, he changed the game. Scotland weren't doing that well in the game. He come off the bench and he looked a class above. Now, he is a class above most of the Scotland players. He plays at a high level in the Premier League. But I love watching him. I mean, I watched him against Liverpool. The last game of the season.
yeah.
He's got an unbelievable goal, but his back's at me, sticking his arse
thing
into
is-
people.
Yeah, I know.
Brilliant.
And when you look at them, that midfield, what they would have had. I know Billy Gilmore's got injured, but Billy Gilmore, Scott McTominay, and John McGinn is a pretty good midfield.
Yeah, he's done brilliant. He's one of these fellas, but when he's bad, when he's his bad days, he does look like a pub player. When he's off it, he looks shocking. But again, if you watch him long enough, and again, the stats are, again, when he's in the team week in, week out, you go, well, if these managers all like him...
I don't see him play many bad games.
No, but when he's bad...
I don't see him.
Roy, you'd have him in your team, wouldn't you? I'm talking about as a coach.
Yeah.
You'd have him in your
You'd
team,
have him in your
wouldn't you?
group, of course, absolutely. And there's no surprise Villa are doing well, and he's at the forefront of that.
So, big question. Scotland have never made it out of the group of a World Cup. Can they make it out of the World Cup group with...
Well, this is their best chance.
It depends. I mean,
They've got to beat Haiti.
yeah, but they have to do that. But what I'm saying is Morocco are a decent team.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the Morocco game is they've just got to, if they can get something from the Morocco game, yeah.
Well, 4 points will get you in that 8.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I just think that's...
You know, one of the big worries as well is the keepers. The keepers are not starters for their teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think going into a World Cup with your keeper who's not playing every single week, you know what I mean? I just feel
Well, I think they're really up against it.
they're massively up against it.
Again, the one thing you look at all the players, and they've done great, listen, but they lack real quality, don't they?
I like that
Who's
Gannon
going
Dog. Gannon Dog, he's the difference in respect of that winger. And I know we're talking about Scottish football, but he's the kind of winger, I know he's at Bournemouth, he's the kind of winger, and he does something different to the rest. He'll try and take someone on, he'll do a bit. So you're hoping that he can find some form in that, but obviously, of course, they're up against it.
And
Massively
obviously,
up
we go
against
back to the conditions for Scotland as well.
Yes.
Whatever, but England's struggling.
Jeez.
Hey, Scotland.
Jeez.
Wow, they'll be
They're just not
melting.
born. They're not born for the heat.
They might have to play with those hats on. What do they wear up there? Them bonnets.
Those little bonnets with the ginger hair coming down the side. You know what? It's just, again, magnificent for them to get there, and you don't know. They might be able to beat Haiti, maybe. I don't know. if Morocco slip
put
up,
much money
they'll get a draw. Get a draw. Can you imagine if they did?
Yeah.
Because they could
bus.
go in as the third.
Pack the bus.
They could go in as the third team, right? See?
And Brazil, when they play Brazil might have already won their first 2 matches, and Brazil start rotating. You never know.
And when they made a big mistake, what World Cup was it? And David Neary scored. the goal.
82.
82.
Yeah.
Massive
They upset
mistake.
them. Don't upset
David
Brazil
Neary scored and
early,
bam, 4-1.
Remember that game?
Beautiful goal.
Love that World Cup 82.
That was beautiful.
Who was Scotland's last goal scorer at World Cup finals? We've got a little
Ali
quiz
McCoist.
question for you. Who was it?
Ali McCoist.
Was it Ali McCoist?
That was the Euros in '96, I think.
No, it's not.
1990.
What year was it? What
Craig
year was it?
Bailey.
What year was it?
What year?
Craig Bailey?
1998.
I've got it. Midfielder,
Brazil.
John Collins.
Did Craig Bailey score against...
Incorrect.
Craig Bailey scored against Brazil?
Craig Burley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, he's got it.
You said Craig
But I
Burley
gave him the
just
hint.
now,
I was telling all the other ones
Burley.
that kind of...
I've had lots of noise in my ear.
Craig Burley.
This episode of Stick to Football is brought to you by Sky Bet. Kieran, let's go. We got the big board.
Come on.
This is it.
Gal, what's
Kieran's been
happening?
asleep, girl. Who
Gal,
woke you up?
There's countries missing.
This is where England win the World Cup.
Yeah.
Do you want a hand with it? It looks heavy, doesn't it?
Oh.
Where are you going, Kieran?
We're putting it
The budget. Hey, someone splashed out in the budget. USA.
Put it a bit closer.
Chop it off.
Pal.
What's with the trackie?
It's Arn. It's our... Do you like it or not?
What's time?
Should I take my thing off? I'm boiling, by the way. I've got a fucking wetsuit on.
Gal, what's going on with this? Are we doing this or what?
We are doing it now.
I've got a flight tomorrow.
How old are you when you stop wearing shell suits with hoods?
Hey, that is a long time for the players to be away in it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And they're away for 10 days before they go over, isn't it?
Right, here is the board for the World Cup from the round of 32 onwards to the final. The round of 32 has been populated by our production team. So it's Pat, basically, from our production team, decided
taking out South
that he
Africa
thinks
and
these
everything.
32 teams are going to get to the final positions, the final knockout phases. Let's predict what we'll think and happen from there.
That's interesting. He's got Scotland.
So basically, Scotland are in it, are they?
Yeah, he's got
Has he
Scotland,
just
yeah.
done that for like old
The
times?
viewers.
What's that? So is it me? What's this?
So who's first?
How's this work? Is it a competition?
Are
or
we
is
doing
it...
predictions? Or just...
You're basically going to predict.
We're all
who
predicting.
to the final. Yeah,
We've got to decide as a
We'll go
group.
game by game.
Well, I'm going to go Morocco to beat Germany.
You're going to go Mark.
Yeah, but everybody's got to do their bit.
I'll go with the majority.
You've got who? Morocco to beat Germany?
It's majority. I do think Morocco will beat
Morocco
Germany.
No?
I do.
Oh, well, this is going to take long then, this fucking game.
I do. I'm with you right here. I think, honestly...
They'll have a vote. Obviously, have a vote, lads.
Do we know where that
Jamie.
game... So can we have some information?
Exactly.
Do we know where that game will be played more than likely? Morocco and Germany. You need to give us this information. Because if it's in a hot, boiling place...
Then Morocco's got to be favourite.
I think Morocco.
But why are you anti-Germany? Do you not think Germany will be strong?
No,
Not anti-Germany, sorry.
I
But do you
don't
not think
that's strong.
Playing, not this
No?
season, not where
No.
But is that where they end up getting to a semi? The
I mean, you can never
Germans?
really... Remember people say you can't write Germany off in a tournament, but like, I think you can.
I don't mean to win it, but I'm talking about...
I'd go for Germany. And
I've got Germany's... It's in Boston. Oh. I've got Germany's team that, on paper, Neuer, Kimmich, Tah, Schlotterbeck, Raum, Pavlovic, sorry.
Bayern Munich.
Goretzka, Sané, Musiala, Wirtz, Havertz.
Oh, lads.
Sané,
Germany.
Musiala, Wirtz,
all them
Havertz.
players are playing in the fucking semi-finals of the Champions League and can have it scored in the final.
So you and Germany.
You're going Germany, you two.
But us too, so what do we do?
What do we do when it's Germany or Germany? Kieran, you decide. I've just made it up. You decide,
Go
Kieran.
on, Germany.
I'll go Germany.
Honestly,
There's a scouse.
honestly, he was not going to go against Karen and Roy. He'd been hanging from that beam up there, were you?
Right.
Right.
So should we do this side now, or are we doing all
do
that
this.
side
We'll
first?
do
All right.
do this side
France.
first.
So we're going France.
France.
Yeah, France.
France,
Come on, let's got to
100%.
do this quick.
I'm going to go...
There's the winner.
France,
Then-
100%. Yeah.
Ooh,
Mexico against Bosnia.
Oh.
Sweden.
In the last, Mexico have got to the World Cup the last 8 times, and they got to the last 16, 7 of those times.
Yes, Kieran.
Under home.
I'm going to go... And it might be hot as well, Gal. Put Mexico.
Mexico, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go Mexico.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
Netherlands.
Netherlands, yeah. We happy with that?
Against,
No, Mexico, Bosnia was in Los Angeles, by the
So
way.
then-
Scotland beat to get Colombia.
No, they
Netherlands,
just lost.
oh,
They
sorry,
just lost to
Netherlands, okay.
Last minute goal for my Netherlands.
And then we go...
Croatia go again with all their
Croatia.
players.
Oh.
No.
Do you reckon?
They could
But
beat
is it
Colombia,
Colombia
though.
who never... They always come up short as well, don't they, Colombia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what are we
No,
saying?
Croatia.
Would we still give it to Croatia just for being dogged and
Yeah,
hard to
I think
beat?
Croatia.
They're just so tough.
Then
Spain.
Fancy Algeria.
Hold on.
Oh, come on, put Spain there.
Spain are in. Spain are in.
yeah, and then we're USA Canada.
Canada, say Canada, go on.
That's a massive game, by the way.
I think Canada's beat them.
I think
Jesse
Canada
Marsh.
beat- just because-
Jesse Marsh. He's done so well with Canada.
Yes.
Oh,
They
lads.
beat them in that tournament.
Oh, lads, you love Jesse March. No, oh, my...
I don't know the results.
Your
No,
first
he's
week
got-
when he went up to Leeds,
they're getting good
his sessions are
results.
unbelievable. They fucking never won a game. The 2 lads come back going, his sessions are unbelievable. What was he doing? 8
I've never
8.
seen this session.
No, something.
He did. He went up to see him at Leeds and you came back.
To. So at the end of the game, fucking makes me laughing. He's watching. That means he's watching at like 10:36 on a Friday night. Leeds have played someone. we've brought Rodrigo into the studio in the end when we used to be on the pitch with Kelly. Do you remember the Friday Night Football?
Okay.
Rodrigo,
Yes.
who I was at Valencia with. And I asked him the questions and I said, what's Jesse like? His sessions are fantastic, he's great. And he's obviously watched that and remembered it.
The sessions. Try to win a game.
Canada,
Could win a game at Leeds, but the sessions are great.
I'm going.
Thumbs up.
I think Canada.
I do.
They done well to qualify for the World Cup.
USA have not done well under Poch
Not under
at all.
Poch, no, under
any time.
Poch. He's been linked to.
So he's
another
done well to
team.
qualify for the World Cup.
Where's this game, USA, Canada?
Where is that?
Where's the game?
Poch, yeah. Poch
San
is
Francisco.
beautiful. Oh, they love
I can't
Canada
see
beat them in that
Canada.
What's that tournament? Is it the Euros or what is it?
The
Yeah.
Gold Cup. The Gold Cup.
Gold
It's a
Cup
bit-
or the Concat or something.
It's a bit emotional, this, but Maurizio came on the show. He said quarterfinals is par. That's where he's going to get to.
What do you say, Albatross?
USA. Go on then.
I think USA.
USA,
Let's go
Poch.
USA for
Yeah,
Maurizio. Let's
yeah,
get him
Oh,
in.
and Poch got Irish background as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Belgium, Belgium, Adam.
Well,
Tell you
I
what.
think Belgium are going to do all right. No, all right.
Saudi Arabia, they're getting promised Rolls Royces if they
By the,
roll out. Get Rolls Royce if they win. There's no way they're losing to Belgium.
Belgium,
Belgium
playing
are
in
doing it right
Seattle,
then.
which is very cool, as we know.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
visit
you gotta
Seattle,
go
don't we?
Belgium.
cool.
Belgium, come on.
Belgium are
Belgium
going.
could be a sneaky
we're
one.
going to go the other side now.
Go to the other side.
Yeah, if you're on the other side, yeah.
Right.
What a game that is, by the way. Brazil, Japan.
Wow.
I took Japan, but
Everybody likes
unbelievable.
everybody likes Japan.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying Japan are dark horses. But if they're up
Brazil
against Brazil,
and Senegal.
they're dark.
I'm not going against Brazil.
Brazil and Senegal.
I'm not sure.
Senegal.
I can't take Brazil out of this. It's got to be Senegal, hasn't it?
You know something?
Senegal.
Senegal. Go on the Sens.
Then we are
That's a tough
South
one.
Africa. South Korea.
No, South Korea. They took South Africa out already.
Very close.
That's a big one, though.
Sorry.
That's in Mexico. I'm going South Korea.
Yeah.
Ivory Coast, you?
Yeah.
No, Ivory Coast. I'm
They're
going.
big fitness freaks.
I'll go for the
I'd go
Bronx.
Ivory Coast, but it's up to you, Kieran, you decide.
Roy, you're on.
Kieran, Ivory Coast. I would go.
Okay.
Roy, you're on.
Roy,
I
what
would
do
have
you
gone
think?
South Korea, but listen.
Ivory Coast.
But once you
2v2 and
England, Norway, wow.
Ooh, Ødegaard, Haaland. Do you know something?
against
Is that a potential Iceland? Haaland and Ødegaard?
No,
I know Iceland.
Where would that game?
Norway are bigger than Iceland.
I know they are.
Where's that game? You don't.
Where's the game? England, Norway, Atlanta. Is it hot in Atlanta? Is it? Yeah, it's hot apparently.
So we should be doing
No,
better
sure.
than Norway.
England
don't
would
we?
beat Norway.
Let's go North.
Haaland,
England.
Ødegaard.
Yeah.
I'm not going against England here.
I'm not going against England, but it's a tough game.
Argentina, Uruguay.
Come on, Uruguay. I want Argentina. Out.
Argentina. Uruguay.
Argentina.
Go on, Argentina.
Who else is Uruguay now, isn't he?
I've gone off with Argentina.
Turkey.
Egypt. Oh. What are Egypt play? Have you? Truthfully, that.
Well,
I'd
they
go
didn't do great
Turkey.
in the AFCON. I mean, they got the semi, I think, in the AFCON.
I'd go Turkey.
I'd go Turkey.
So?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Oh, not sure about that one. But, hey.
Yeah. Turkey.
Hang on, Turkey. Put it back if you want. Put it back.
No. I'll go with you, Roy.
Is it Turkey or Egypt then?
Oh, we go with Turkey. Come on.
Portugal, Ghana.
Let's not try and do this quick because we've had enough. I want to take my time.
Yeah, you're
We are.
right.
Oh no, we got
know what I mean?
loads of this.
Fine. 2 minutes ago, you
later
said
on.
flight to catch, but no.
No, I want to see.
Portugal.
Bruno. Yeah, Bruno.
Go on, Bruno.
Bruno's lifting that World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fancy.
Most assists in the tournament.
Switzerland, Austria.
But they'll come second. Yeah. Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Take your time with this one now. Swiss and Austria.
Switzerland. I'm going Switzerland with Xhaka.
Battle of the
Think
Alps.
so?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I couldn't tell you. Is it Ralph Rangnick, Austria? Yeah. Isn't
Tell
it?
you what.
Go on then.
That's a hard one. That's a 50-50, that.
Switzerland are always there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Always.
They're always
Always in the
there.
mix, man. Always, yeah.
Switzerland.
Go on, Righty. Righty stepped up to the plate.
Switzerland. Right.
Right, here we
Go
go.
on the other side. Quick. We're timing you. Quick.
What a
Right,
show.
here we go. No, concentrate on this.
Germany, France.
I'm going
France.
France. Sorry, Germany.
I'd go Mexico.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that could be a blockbuster of a game, that.
If that
One of the best games in the World Cup. Remember last time it was Argentina, Holland, wasn't it? Oh my God.
when he blast the ball.
Oh, my God.
We were at that game, weren't
No,
we?
we was
Who
there.
at that game with?
We was there.
The tall striker played for
Vegas.
United. Vegas.
Eagles, yeah.
That freak. Yeah, brilliant.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah, I think we'll go Mexico. But that's Rude's the coach of the Netherlands. We're looking after Rude a bit.
Croatia, Spain with their
Spain.
Croatia's
Surely
experience.
Spain. Oh, surely Spain.
I think Croatia. Croatia's experienced.
USA, Belgium.
Where's the USA game? Where is that?
Where's that game? USA, Belgium? Seattle, all cool. Cool weather.
Belgium.
Cool weather in Seattle.
But they want to. We've got to get Poch to the quarterfinals because that's what he said on the show.
He said pardon he.
Yeah, he said.
Belgium team.
I'm having Belgium.
Belgium team. Courtois, Castagna.
I'm telling you.
Belgium.
I have Belgium.
Tielemans, Onana, Doku,
Hey,
De Bruyne, Trossard.
Oh, good night. Good night.
Go on then, Brazil.
Senegal?
Yeah, let's go Brazil.
Brazil.
Yeah.
Brazil.
There's still 8 rounds to go.
England, Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
England will do.
Where's that game? England, Ivory Coast? Mexico City. Wow.
Wow, roasting.
Altitude,
Roasting.
altitude.
England.
Yeah, they're getting out of this round anyway, so it doesn't matter, yeah.
Yeah. Argentina, Turkey.
Argentina was surely short. Do you think Argentina?
Yeah, Argentina.
Yeah.
Messi. Messi.
And Portugal.
Messi.
Portugal.
I think Portugal winning this. Oh, that's a great game.
Yeah.
Portugal.
Oh, Portugal winning that.
Argentina.
Yeah.
Wow. Telling you.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What have we? Oh,
Yeah.
We've not got a shock team
Sorry,
here
we're on
going
this
through, and we always
who's missing it?
Mexico's a shock team.
a little bit maybe.
No, France are doing
France.
them. Just put France in there.
Spain, Belgium.
Yeah, Spain.
Spain.
I think Belgium, they're golden.
That's
Getting
looking
easier.
Oh, there we go.
Put it,
No,
put it up
it's-
quick,
Here we go. Are we knocking England out?
England, Brazil.
I'm not sure about this Brazilian team.
Or are we keeping
but,
England in?
hey, have we got Brazilian squad there now?
Can I tell you where this game is?
Go on.
Might influence your thinking. It's in Miami.
You could have said anywhere in America. It would have been
No,
different.
Miami.
big South American
Welcome to
contingent.
me, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Miami, big South American influence and hot.
What Brazilian attackers have we got? Have we got the squad?
Cunha, Rafinha, Vinicius,
Thiago.
Guimaraes, Casemiro.
You said Neymar, didn't you?
Neymar's not fit.
Neymar got injured, didn't he?
Did he make it?
injured.
He got
I think he got
Thiago.
in.
Well, the front three are Rafinha, Vinicius and Cunha.
Wow. That could be a problem for us.
Midfield, midfield, you've got Casemiro and Bruno
When
Guimaraes.
Harry Maguire's watching that match at home, he'd be fucking delighted. He's
There you
the
go, fucking sir, you got right.
Brazilians, like red arrows running past him.
I just don't see England beating a Brazil in that.
No,
England
yeah.
never beats anyone. They're not supposed to do.
They have
in
done
a
in the
tournament.
last few years. They have to beat
Who?
Germany and England.
66.
At home.
At home.
At home.
Yeah.
I know they're not playing at home.
It's tough for us.
Yeah, Brazil. Oh, we got to fancy
I'm
Brazil.
not going against us, though. It's going to be.
Oh, well, you're being
against
childish now. Get your professional head on. You think England
That
can beat
front
Brazil
three-
in Miami, in the heat,
one. Yeah. Yeah, I do, yeah.
and we'll be going stir crazy in the hotel. We've been there 3 or 4 weeks at this
Yeah.
stage.
We won't care.
This is a massive
we
game,
won't
by the
care.
way.
Brazil.
That's a tough one.
Maybe I-
I hope that doesn't happen.
But then, like what?
Have you gone Brazil, Gary, or have you gone...
Did you put Brazil in? Because we were 2-2. Me and Rice, we were
Yeah, I've
going.
gone with Brazil.
Yes, good lad.
Oh, in England. I think Portugal beat Argentina.
I do.
I do.
Oh, lads, you're in cuckoo land. Portugal, no
Yeah,
chance.
this is
Two,
Ronaldo's
that's
last
why that
chance.
tippy tappy gets
Ronaldo's
found out.
last chance.
You need a bit of.
Ronaldo's last chance. This is it. Against Messi in the
Ronaldo will be 45.
Ronaldo.
He'll be 45 by the end of the tournament, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Fucking that long.
I think Portugal beat Argentina.
Alrighty.
Really, I just maybe
I hope
won it.
Argentina win it. But
Do you want Portugal's team?
Go on.
Who's in it? Cancelo, Ruben Dias, Nuno Mendes, João Neves, Vitinha, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva.
Say it like that song, like
João
Portuguese
Felix.
song.
Do you remember their group matches?
There's no way they're losing.
Yeah.
Ireland beat them.
Is João Felix
And
still
Ireland
going?
got a result in Portugal.
How old would João Felix be?
So you're all
He's been
getting-
around for a
I
minute.
I must
You're getting
admit,
brainwashed by the
100.
names.
it's only 22.
The front three, to be fair, of Bernardo Silva,
Long season. He's
what's he
tired.
called? João Felix and Ronaldo. It's
Felix.
It's
João
aging,
Felix.
isn't it? It's
Hey, lads. Forget Portugal, telling you.
Yeah, but then what were we saying about Argentina? What's Argentina?
just
saying?
tell
Leao, yeah.
The presence. Where's that game? The fans.
So the team for Argentina: Paredes, McAllister, and Fernandes, and then you've got Messi, Alvarez, Almada.
It's a toss.
In Miami. It's like he said he wants it. now.
I think Ronaldo. I think Portugal.
I'm going Portugal.
I've got a feeling Ronaldo's just got sort of like he's just like a.
You saw him walking off in
phenomenon.
You saw him walking off in
And
Qatar when it was
Messi.
over.
And Messi. What's Messi?
Oh, he's a phenomenon as well. But he's had his,
Yeah, but
he's had his phenomenon moment.
He's had his
it.
day in the sun.
Okay, here we go.
No, lad.
Portugal beating Brazil.
So, Roy, you thought Argentina would have gone through against Portugal, did you? But I think Portugal.
Yeah. I think Portugal will beat Brazil.
France are playing. France France are playing. I think France are playing Brazil in the final.
I think France are playing Portugal.
France are playing.
I think France are playing Brazil.
I think France are playing Brazil.
Keza, what do you think?
France.
Again?
France are in.
France are
We've got France
definitely
in.
I've gone Portugal.
I've gone Brazil.
Who you going, Jay?
I think Brazil will turn up. Ancelotti.
Ancelotti. I'm going Ancelotti.
Ancelotti.
I forgot about
X factor,
Ancelotti.
It's up to you.
Cheers.
Brazil.
Right.
What a good final that'd be, wouldn't it?
Did you ever go against Roy at any stage?
Yeah, Portugal.
Yes, you did. Yeah, well done, Kieran.
Them games are good.
Ancelotti versus Deschamps in the final.
He's finishing, isn't it? This is his last game. That'll be his last game.
There's something that tells me that he's going to write what happened 3-4 years ago in Qatar.
Thank you, Gary.
I feel like what we watched
Last
that night.
game.
So you're going for France to win it?
I think so.
I think France.
Brazil, I'm going.
France.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
To be honest,
I love that little move. Hey, lovely. Well set up, that.
Yeah.
That was nice.
This episode of Stick to Football is brought to you by Sky Bet. We've got some quick predictions.
Why does it have to be quick?
Because 9:10.
Right.
I'm at 4.
We've got some quick predictions. Who will win the World Cup? We've done it. France. Who will be?
Are we on agreement with France, though? Are we all
Yeah, I
predicting
think
France?
Who will be the top scorer? Mbappe.
Does he take the penalties?
Well, who have they got? They've got Elise. They've got Dembele. Dembele
A
takes
penalty
him, doesn't he?
taker. A penalty taker.
Dembele takes him, doesn't he, for Paris, doesn't he?
So who's in our group again? I'm going to go Harry Kane, top scorer.
Do you know what? Yeah,
Jeez. I think that Mbappe's.
he's got a chance because he takes the penalties.
He takes penalties and fucking carry. Of course
So I'm going to go Harry Kane.
No,
Kane.
Haaland,
Dembele.
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 Do you think Dembele?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Golden Glove winner.
Oh,
Find out who the keepers are.
Will obviously be one of them.
Magnan for France.
yeah, he's a decent keeper.
Alisson for Brazil. That could be one, couldn't it? Alisson.
Yeah,
Alisson.
Do you think so, lads?
Could be.
he's not the same.
Martinez for Argentina.
Jordan does all right for us.
But who did we have in the semi-finals? We had the Spanish as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
Simon.
I'm going with.
I'd go for the France keeper because France
going with-
had quite
Yeah,
the
French-
clean sheet.
The French goalkeeper,
No,
Magnan.
I'm going Jordan
Magnan.
Pickford. I want it on record. I'm going Jordan
Yeah.
Pickford, and I'm not even joking. Don't get us down.
Jordan Pickford, Magnan for France. Okay, we got community questions. Which country will surprise us?
Japan.
You've got them going out in the second round.
I know, but they surprised us up to that point.
Do you know something right here?
No, but they could go up with still win a couple of
I'm
games in
going
the group.
with you, by the way.
You know
I
something?
thought
They've got everything.
that was one of the best performances I've seen at Wembley by a team
Did you see
in
him?
terms of teamwork and playing together.
So I won't be
And sharp.
surprised then. If
What?
you're not,
Yeah,
what?
but I just think I think Japan could
Japan?
get to semi-finals. I'm telling you, they could get to
You think?
semi-finals.
Norway. Could
Yeah.
Norway?
Well,
I'm going to say Norway.
Norway.
They've surely with the players.
Wait,
they've
did we
got,
have them? Were they up
should
against England, were they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it might panel.
Can,
I know.
you know, I think someone like. Can I mention someone like a Ghana or someone? I think
Ivory Coast against England. That would have to be.
I'm going to go Norway. They could have a little.
Norway.
Haaland,
They play
Odegaard.
But they play England.
But we don't know that. That's just guessing.
Do you think Norway will get through against England?
No, we're
they
saying
might
we
end
might
up
play
there.
England. We don't know how that pans out.
They just picked who they thought were going to
No,
get
it's
through.
definitely not happen.
which we should be. Haaland should be up there as a goal scorer as well. So you can't blow him out. You know what I mean? I'm having Haaland and Harry Kane.
I've never watched Haaland play for Norway, but I'm imagining because Norway probably won't keep the ball that much in that type of heat. Would he be like more dangerous on the counter-attacks? If you think about Odegaard,
Without a doubt,
he always like City. They always camped. I mean, you said this years ago, didn't you? They camped in the other team's box, and he has done more the last year or two with the way he played. But this would be the most he'd get to counter-attack, wouldn't it?
But that's it's not a great way of playing if you do it properly.
Yeah, with him.
I know we mentioned England earlier if the conditions, but if you're just sitting in, just resting.
But England can't counter-attack through the centre forward. They have
Of
to
course
counter-attack
not.
through the
No,
wide player.
obviously, but that's what he said. The manager has to find a
You know,
different
just
way.
going back to remember the Everton game when he just got the ball from the centre and just went all the way through. It reminded me of school. We had a player called Henry Laville, and he was so good. He just got the ball from the centre circle and just went and scored. It's just like that's how easy he can score.
That was some goal like that. Right, so we're going Japan. and Norway.
Norway.
Japan and Norway are our two big shocks for the tournament. Who do we think will be the biggest underachievers at the World Cup?
USA?
No, because I think how can they be underachievers? Really, really. I mean, there's not much
because you could see when you saw Mauricio Pochettino's face, he looked like
I know, there's not much expected though of them anyway. I mean, there's not much like if they got out of the group, which they
Germany.
Germany, I think it's a good shout. I think Germany's a good shout.
Germany.
Yeah, Germany's a good shout.
I think they could be.
Yeah.
It's something, yeah.
I don't know.
Germany's a
What
good
do you
shout.
think? You think? Hang on, Roy's still thinking.
This could take a while.
So what was the question?
What about Argentina?
biggest-
What about Argentina as a little bit of an outside? Sometimes when you've won it, and then you come in with an ageing team, Otamendi, obviously, the lads in midfield, you've got McAllister.
Raiders,
Do you see them? Do you see them really? They could get done, couldn't
because
they?
they're nasty.
They could get
they're
done,
just-
but I just think they're fucking animals.
horrible,
man.
yeah, they're
I know.
just
I think
horrible.
they'll.
I'm just being reminded France got done in 2002 after they won it. I'm going to go Argentina for potentially biggest underachievers.
Oh yeah.
Shock, yeah. I think it could. I think they could just be. Oh, you've won it. You've done everything. It was their
So
goal.
biggest disappointment.
It's just as underachievers. I mean, yeah.
This-
Biggest disappointment, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah.
I'm going
I
to
think
go
it's going to be
Argentina.
hard for Scotland.
think-
Not that I was thinking. No, I
Yeah,
think,
but not
I think Scotland
underachieving,
was
they're just
underachievers.
Underachieving
underdogs.
might be not getting out of the group.
No.
Like really disappointing.
That'd be amazing if they
yeah.
could get out of the
That's
group.
what I mean. But I just think.
I think if Scotland don't get out of the group, that's not an underachievement. They've honestly.
What?
Hey, this is an interesting one. I read this, and do you know something? I thought it was interesting because it was interesting how England's squad got announced. But Mauricio Pochettino's defending himself after being criticised over the way he informed players how they made the 26-man squad. With those not making the team receiving an email rather than a phone call, what are your thoughts? And I thought, as I read that, and then I saw the England stuff unfold that night when it said that Harry wasn't there, and then obviously Phil Foden and Matt Palmer, it started to break. And I thought, there has never been a good way of doing this, has there? Yeah. Have we ever seen a good way of doing it whereby you're not upsetting someone? I saw everything in my time in terms of sort of like how you do it, and the only way you can do it, I think a phone call is best, to be fair. I don't think an email's right. But I think a phone call on the...
Worse. I've had them both.
But righty, I think a squad being announced at, say, 12, I think you ring up the players between 9 and 11 in the morning, that window.
And that's happened before. And then what happens is they can't get hold of a couple of players. And then they announce it and they go, oh, he never phoned me. He never phoned me.
Cara, to be fair, one thing I think...
And if you do the day before, it gets leaked out anyway.
People will mock it in terms of how we did it. What, to be fair, we did at one point. We told players that the squad was being announced on the 15th of June, as an example, 15th of May, right? You need to be available between 9 and 11 for phone calls to take whether you've made it or you've not made it in a 9 to 11 window on that day. You had to, so you knew that players had to be available in that window. And at least then they're being told they're in it or they're not being in it. But it was a case of at least you knew you were sort of informing them of that. The worst one, I think, is where you take a 30-man squad, you've not named your 26, to say like a pre-tournament thing, and then you drop 4 back on the plane home and they have to leave your camp. I mean, right.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, my goodness.
A manga.
That was unbelievable. Yeah. That was like, that. Honestly, it sounds crazy. I felt like there was...
Sapped your energy. Did it sap the energy out of the group?
Oh, it was awful, right?
Horrible.
Awful. It was awful, honestly. Because, to be fair, one of the players was Gaza, who was...
But did you not have an idea who would be leaving? Obviously not the Gaza one. That was the big shout. But the other ones, were you like...
Do you know something, Roy? The biggest thing for me was that Gaza was massive and everyone loved him. It was just a shock to everybody because he was like our best player almost. And like, what's going on? But Phil got left out. But Phil had been told 3 days before that he was in.
Wow.
Been told he was in.
By the manager, obviously.
His assistant.
Well, his system was...
Yeah. And he made a late change. And if you remember, it's a tournament. I was speaking to Graham Lasso about this last week. We played 5 at the back. And Darren Anderton and Bex were the right wing backs. And I was like a backup if they needed me to be there. On the left, we had Graham Lasso and it was Phil. And we had no other left wing back. So so Andy Hinchcliffe was injured, or he left as well, but Phil was always going to be ahead of him.
He took Rio Ferdinand, didn't he? As almost
And he
like
took,
that.
so he decided to take Rio Ferdinand and Merce as second left wing backs. So Merce ended up against Argentina. I think ended up playing left wing back because I think Graham got like cramp or something. So Merce ended up playing left wing back, but Phil got told he made the nod, and then literally, I remember speaking. Look, John Gorman's a lovely man. I remember the day after, the squad was announced and John walked past me in the corridor and he said, "You all right, son?" I said, you told me he was in, John? He said he changed his mindset. It's a massive mistake. I mean, he was a genuine guy, John.
Yeah, of course.
He genuinely thought he was settling Phil
and he was
down.
helping him,
He was helping him.
'Cause
Phil was a bit,
course.
yeah, everyone was, So it was absolute like, oh my God.
It's the worst.
And then Nicky was one of the others. Now Nicky was probably more on the edge than maybe others, but still Nicky and Phil leave. So me and Scholes who were left there with Bex, Nicky and Phil leave, and Gaza. Gaza obviously left, and it was like, all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. The whole hotel went to.
So nobody saw that one coming.
Nope.
No.
Not in a million years. You think Gaza was even with his
Never, honestly,
the
Roy,
problem?
never in a.
He was still partying though.
But Gazza, do you know something? It sounds crazy. You're Thomas Tuchel.
He was still partying.
He was, but you're Thomas Tuchel. You don't bring a Gaza on a 30-man squad or 31-man squad. It was 27 players. It was 22 back then or 23. You don't bring Gaza to La Manga if you're thinking of leaving him out.
But maybe he wasn't before they went out. And then if he was out and
Did
about...
he get injured in the warm-up game? He'd come off.
No,
didn't
what
he?
happened was, I think...
Was he partying? You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit. To be fair, he was having a bit of fun. But to be fair, you knew what Gaza was bringing. Gaza after a game would have a bit of fun. But to be fair, you knew that was going to happen with him. It wasn't like this was a shock. You know
Yeah,
what
but
I
the
mean?
thing is, Gal, Glenn Hoddle, you speak to Glenn Hoddle. Glenn Hoddle told him early in the season.
Yeah, he did.
Listen,
I'm not having to go to Glenn, I'm just saying.
I'm going to need you like this here.
Yeah.
When you get to here, I need you to be this fit. And,
Yeah.
he gave him an opportunity because, like, Gaza walks into that team. If he's just fit, all you need to do is keep himself fit.
You're on about the phone calls. I think if you upset a player, but you ring him, and weeks later, months later, the player will obviously be fed up with you, but there will be an element, at least he called me.
Yeah.
There would be a bit of that. Yeah. That does soften a little bit. Not at the time, but...
Have you ever had, any of us had a moment like that where we've been called and told we're not in the squad?
96.
You had, yeah. So who told you? Terry?
Yeah.
Terry?
And 92.
Like Graham Taylor.
Yeah. Won a golden boot that time. I walked into his office like, I floated in there. I came out like, fucking hell, like that. Jesus, what more can I do?
Did you ask him why? Did he explain or just...
No, it just you know what it was? Because at the time, Al just broke in and I was just, I think I was still at Southampton. And he said he's gonna bring him in. You know what I mean? What can you do? I didn't know what to say. What can you say? What can you say? You think, people tell you things like, if you're scoring goals and you're scoring goals in this division, in the first division you're doing well, you'll be fine. You'll be going, didn't go. That's the one I can't get over that because I was thinking even when that happened in 92, obviously I missed 90 because when we played against United and I was injured before I got into that cup final and Bobby Robson didn't know how fit I was, so he didn't take me and I said, it's fine because I got 92, didn't go 94, didn't qualify 96. You know what I mean? Venner's said, you know what I mean? Venner's phoned me before, said, listen, I'm going to probably leave you out for a couple because I'm going to look at some people. And he bought Les and Robbie. And then, what's it called? He said, I'll speak to you because I know you scored off the bench for England. And then I never heard from him. Never heard from him until they got back from Hong Kong. And then he said, listen, I'm going to go with them too. Devastated. And then injured in 98.
I mean, it's amazing, right? When you think like the competition that you had, when you think about, we've got now like Watkins and Tony, the second and third centre forwards, and you think you had like Shearer, Sheringham, Fowler, in your period, Owen, Collymore, Ferdinand, Sutton, Andy Cole.
Did you say Fowler?
Robbie Fowler. You think about those players that you had against you in that period. Like
those players drive you.
Did you have the belief though? Did you have the belief that you were better than them?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
no. Absolutely.
No?
At every stage, I thought that I'm at least I'm at par and with these guys. I'm fighting these guys.
No, I mean, but the competition that you had, like 6 or 7 there. That
I think that's what blasted everybody. Everybody was driving because of that. Obviously Shearer was at the tip of it.
Yeah.
Then Teddy came in and Teddy just, let's face it, that was a beautiful partnership, the way they complemented each other. But then the rest of us were just like battling it out, fighting.
Well, Les didn't get picked, did he?
No, Les was in that squad.
In
but
96?
But
he wasn't in
he didn't get on.
It wasn't in 98 though, was it?
Yeah, Les was in 98. Les was getting ready to come on before Bex got sent off. Les was going, sit down, Les. I always go on about like myself and I'm so gutted, but then Les has got so close. Les was in 96, didn't get on. 98, didn't get on. So Les has got even more of a story than me, but like it's one of those that even when you're on holiday, after you've been told, you can't get over it. It's just like, I'm gutted. I wanted to be there. Then you watch it, and it's hard to watch
But it must be strange for a striker when you scored all them goals going, what more could you have done?
Well, you can't do any more, and that's why I said.
Is it sometimes your
I've done
face
everything
mightn't
I
fit? Is it something like that?
I don't know, Graham Taylor. I wouldn't want to say that about Graham
No,
Taylor.
not with Graham Taylor, but just in the whole setup, and you go, listen.
But you were part of the documentary, the greatest documentary of all time.
Do I not like that?
Not will ever beat that.
You know, but like it was. I was desperate for it. You know, this is probably why I'm such a fan of watching England tournament. I'm just desperate to go. I wanted to go so badly.
Well, that's why we're bringing you this tournament, Righty, to New York for this tournament. We wouldn't
Thanks
leave you
a
at
lot.
home. You're in the squad again, Righty.
I'm in the squad again.
We look after you.
Thanks, man.
Well, Carrie, you're going to come over and see us at some point during the
you've got to
tournament?
Yeah, I've got Sky Bet on my case that the ratings have gone down. I've needed.
Nice,
Well done.
nice to see you.